we can shine together. We can all just fall apart. We can live, we can love, yes, we can spark. We can give, we can know, we can die together. The conversation, the separation, the overlooked $1 million violations.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Choose your command. You have chosen
the Face-Off Hockey Show.
I mean, hockey is my life. I've got on hockey underwear right now.
The Face-Off Hockey Show. With Scotty Waz. Sean O.
breakaway. Take 2 3 scores! There we go!
And the P-Boys, Johnny and Mark with a C.
Yeah, baby.
5 seconds left in the game. You believe it not? Oh, yes!
Here's your host for the Face-Off Hockey Show, Scotty Waz.
Just killed my webcam. I killed my external webcam. I don't know how, don't know why. It's not working anymore. Twice it's fucked up on me today. Great. Welcome to Face-Off Hockey Show. If things have been burning for you, then it must be NHL free agency season. And happy free agency season to you and yours.
Or it could be the clap.
Maybe. Fuck. Piece of shit. Johnny P. Mark with a C with you. And boys, we got some things to talk about today. That's right. I got myself a new camera. No, I'm kidding. Jen got herself a new computer. Even better.
Is that what you're on?
You had a backup camera.
What's that?
You have a backup camera?
I have the camera on the on the computer, and this was the one that actually was clearer. And now it's just.
Well, your backup camera looks pretty good.
It's
should,
HD,
you
bro.
should find the Logitech C310. That's what the rest of us use.
I had to see something.
I have a Microsoft.
What?
Something or other. 3000 something.
I have two Logitech C310s now. One on this computer here, and one in the travel box that's here.
Which, by the way, travel box. Beautiful.
It came through. We had issues with the internet. I rewatched the show. The internet came in and out a little bit. Sound didn't really drop very much, but the video dropped some. But not a big deal. Nothing we could do about it. It's the hotel. The sound of it was fantastic.
Probably the best I've sounded in 15 years. So.
Yeah.
With the mic with the thing.
Yeah,
that you can't see me like.
Yeah.
Yep. It always helps.
Mark, hopefully our good-natured ribbing was not too much for the familia.
No, they were fine. They've heard worse.
That's good.
From you, probably.
Most likely.
Definitely from John.
Yeah.
Definitely from the family.
All right. Well, in that case, I don't feel as bad.
So there's our run-in, our Jersey fan run-in.
Mark, do you want to set this one up?
Sure. So, as Scotty alluded to, lots of things happened today. Lots of things and stuff we'll talk about. So this is Danny. He's a New Jersey Devils fan.
Sorry about that.
That guy is my brother. I don't know if you can tell that we're related.
We have the same haircut right now.
So that's John, and then Scotty is the beard. He's in
That's weird
North
to
Dakota.
Say. That's kind of weird to say that I'm the beard.
Well, John doesn't have a beard.
Well, I get it, but I mean, listen, the connotation is not a good one, my friend.
Why?
You know
People
why.
love beards. Statistically speaking.
Statistically speaking, sure. Anywho, so Danny is the Devils fan, and Danny just picked himself up an offensive forward that many people love and enjoy, and his name is Taylor Ham Hall.
Not pork roll.
Yeah, exactly. No pork roll whatsoever. Your thoughts on this momentous trade, momaculous trade, as we like to call it, Taylor Hall for Adam Larson?
Well, first of all, I was very upset when I first heard about the trade because all I heard first was that they traded Adam Larson, and in the beginning, all the stuff that I had heard was that they were looking at Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and I was hoping if they were going to pick up pick up him than it would be for someone like Damon Severson and possibly a pick. When I heard that it was Adam Larson involved in the deal, I was just shocked. I didn't think they were going to trade a 23-year-old defenseman locked up for 5 more years at $4 million a year. But
now, before we go any further, we have to. Did you choose this office specifically because of the SpongeBob, or the?
No, you'll have to thank my lovely fiance for the decoration of this room.
Because those are some. Is that a pound puppy back there?
That is, in fact, a Build-A-Bear puppy.
Mm.
It adds something to the show right now. I'm just going to say
good.
that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I can probably go ahead and stick one of my Legos or something up there.
You have the which one do you have? Do you have like a Lamborghini or like a space shuttle or?
I got this one sitting in front of me right now.
Oh, that is aggressive.
He's got a how many pieces?
I just had the Trevi Fountain.
How many pieces is the one? How many pieces is the one on your coffee table?
Like 7,000, I think. Last I checked.
Well,
I haven't counted them, Mark. I'm sorry.
You should. I mean, it needs to be accurate.
So
Okay.
yes.
Okay, so hockey.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, but how is Taylor Hall going to fit into the system? I guess is the big question. Everyone's wanting to know, and the burning question to you, Danny. What's Taylor Hall going to be running into as he gets into his New Jersey Devils gear?
Well, he obviously becomes the best forward on the team already. So I imagine him being on the first line with probably Kyle Palmieri and Adam Henrique. So he probably slots in. He's definitely going to slot into that first line left wing. So.
And he has played with Henrique in the past.
Yes, he did back in junior. I believe they won the Memorial Cup together. Can't be 100% sure about that, but I believe I know Adam Henrique won the Memorial Cup in junior, but I am not positive that Taylor Hall was on that team.
I believe he was. That sounds about right. That sounds like a Taylor Hall thing to do, to win it. He wins things, right? I don't know. What is this, a show about hockey? Oh, shit, it is.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that the draft was last week. With all the stuff that's happened today, I totally forgot.
This is, I think, the most action that I've ever seen, or I can remember seeing between the draft and the start of free agency.
This all happened on my drive home from work.
Yeah, it all happened
by the way.
Within a half hour. So
I was taking carts from surgery down to sterilization. I mean, Jesus Christ, this happens, and I'm like, what the hell? Why couldn't you wait till I got home and I was relaxed with a nice Arnold Palmer?
You have Arnold Palmer in your house right now?
Exactly. See now, he just got lost and stayed here one day, but he's paying half the rent, so that's fine.
That's good. He's got enough money.
So now Taylor Hall. Taylor, I still can't believe Taylor Hall's a New Jersey Devil, and it's
Taylor
funny
Hall
because
seems kind of he seems kind of sad.
He did, but he also said now I'm going to a team that wants me. It's almost like a scorn ex-girlfriend, and I don't know how to really take this whole thing. I'm just like, is he sad to go, or is he going to be vengeful of it? I'm not entirely sure.
Has he ever been in the playoffs before?
No,
I don't think he had.
He is not outside since junior. No.
It's also going to be. It also kind of changes the dynamic of the Metropolitan Division a little bit, because now you got to look at the Capitals, who now have Ovechkin, Backstrom, Kuznetsov. You have the Islanders with Tavares. You have, Columbus with Seth Jones locked up for 5 years now, and now you have the Devils adding a piece like this. It's going to be exciting.
And aging Henrik Lundqvist just rots away in the net in New York. So that's a good thing we can all enjoy. As the Dan Marino of the NHL continues to roll along in MSG. So I'm glad about that. And it looks like a good. Taylor Hall's happy to be with Adam Henrique at least. I mean, there's that, but he has to live near Newark, so I guess that's a crappy thing. You go from Edmonton rent to New York City rent.
That's kind of a bummer, but if you go 45 minutes north of Newark, you're talking about like $2 million houses.
That's true.
I think he can afford it. But although he's going to have to exchange all his Canadian dollars, and that's not a good time to do that.
No.
Yeah, but you got to think about that $6 million a year. $6 million a year.
Canadian, yeah, but
it's
only like $4.75 million once you do the conversion. So
they get paid in America money regardless. It's not.
Yeah, but with the pound and
Taxes are
euro
higher in
and
Jersey,
everything,
too.
I mean, it's never what you think it's going to be.
I mean, with Britax and all. I mean, right?
Yeah. Brexit, Scotty. Brexit.
Huh? No, I already had some breakfast earlier.
English Brexit is pretty good, though. I will say that.
What is it?
I like the ham. The ham in there, the beans, the baked beans. Overrated for breakfast, I will say.
Baked beans for breakfast?
Yeah.
What kind of
That
animals
doesn't
are they
sound.
over there?
Yeah, that doesn't sound very.
Nope, they're overrated. You should.
You know
try
what?
it.
Maybe
On
the
the old
European
system.
Union's better without them.
Trust me, I've been there twice.
With that garbage, come on.
What are they going to call it when they decide that they made a mistake and they want to be back in?
Brexit.
Ah. There it is.
I've been thinking about that one all day.
Oh my god.
Yep.
So how do you feel about Larson leaving, though? I mean, you get a good offensive piece in, but you lose a pretty good defensive piece at the same time.
Well, sorry. Him and Andy Green definitely had probably, I think last I saw the hero charts, toughest zone starts in the league last year. So, I mean, obviously, I think Andy Green is the play driver in that situation, but I do think the Devils will definitely miss Adam Larson's first pass. And I could definitely see him becoming the 30, 40 point a year defenseman at Edmonton.
I can't wait. David Schlemko is part of the Devils. When did this happen? Where was I at?
They picked him up on a tryout last year.
Wow, the hell happened there? Poor David Schlemko. Poor Keith Kincaid. I feel bad
Poor
for him.
David Schlemko.
Poor David Schlemko. Something no one ever says.
No truer words have ever been muttered on the show.
Exactly. Oh, poor David Schlemko. Poor guy's gonna be a top 4 guy. It's terrible.
I don't know. I don't know if he'll be top 4. So I imagine they'll. Severson is also a right-handed defenseman. I'm willing to bet he'll probably at least start the year playing next to Andy Green. During Severson's first year 2 years ago, that was where he started his career. So I could see that being a good pair. I think John Moore is a top 4 defenseman, at least in my personal opinion, at least from what I saw last year. As far as on the right side with him, I'm not really sure. They've got people in the pipeline. They have Steven Santini, but I don't really feel confident throwing him into a top 4 role his rookie year. So I don't know. We'll see.
I enjoy it. I enjoy anybody who could make the Metropolitan Division great again, or at least knock the Penguins out, those sons of bitches.
Make it great again, Scott?
Make it great again. Like Darren
we need to get you a hat.
Mm-hmm.
Make the Metro Division.
Dude, I could buy like 10 for $5 down here in North Dakota. You can
Make Metro great again.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Talk to Bryce Harper. I hear he's got the monopoly on that.
Oh,
so what's gonna make a bigger impact here? The Taylor Hall trade, or another crazy, ridiculous trade that happened within 20 minutes of that, and we'll move on to the PK Subban for Shea Weber deal. What?
Why? You mean
I couldn't believe that.
The PK Subban for the artist formerly known as Shea Weber?
Yeah, not to mention his absurd contract.
Oh,
like what?
Isn't it 14 years, $100 million?
Yeah, it's he's got about 9 years left on this thing.
Yeah.
So good luck to him.
When was the last time that we saw a 1-for-1 deal, let alone 2 within 20 minutes of each other? For these names, like these types of people.
NHL 16.
That's true.
I couldn't even get the PK Subban trade to go through on NHL 16. I checked it about an hour ago.
There it is. See, now it's all a myth.
Are the contracts intact? Like, is Shea Weber's ridiculous contract actually in the game?
Yeah. If you're boring enough to sim through 14 years of NHL 16, you will still see Shea Weber entering free agency in, I don't know.
That's ridiculous.
2029?
Absurd. But alas, we live in a world now where he's Montreal's problem, which is going to be great for the media there.
He's going to love that.
It's going to be great. And I mean, it just shows that PK Subban was really hated by everybody there. My God.
The Flyers, the Flyers front office has to be patting themselves on the back for this, right?
Because they're responsible for that contract.
If not for them.
Paul Holmgren's.
Yeah. By the way, he's a UFA in 2026, if you guys couldn't do the math quick enough. So he's got another 10 years until he's a free agent.
That's insane.
That's crazy. And he's already 31.
Yeah, and he's declining in a big, rapid pace. Boy, howdy. And then PK Subban. Boy, him and Roman Yossi down there. It's going to be a run and gun show.
And don't forget about Ellison Ekholm, too.
Yeah. And the artist formerly known as Barrett Jackman. So at least they got some kind of balance.
But he's healthy.
Healthy Barrett Jackman's true.
Exactly, the man that
for a healthy Barrett Jackman.
Exactly, the man that Mark wanted to trade Ovechkin for, a healthy Barrett Jackman.
Yeah. No, the pick that became Ovechkin, right?
Yeah,
and I didn't know what I was talking about, and I still don't.
It's true.
And it shows.
Well, that's just me not caring. Me not caring shows also.
Exactly. I can tell by the sweatpants. Nashville making big leaps. Not only the PK Subban deal, they extended Philip Forsberg. He's around. Ryan Johansson's a thing.
That was the big deal, signing Forsberg and keeping him around.
Yeah.
Because every time his name comes up, I curse George McPhee.
By the way, Michael Latta also not getting qualified by the Capitals, so they have nothing left in the Forsberg deal. Congratulations,
Perfect.
Capitals. Great.
Perfect.
Actually, I don't know how true that is. Let me pull up a Reddit thread. Someone on Reddit did a wonderful expose on that trade.
Oh, great.
We were on Reddit once.
Yeah, and that lasted all of... I don't even remember what happened. I honestly don't know.
It was less than a week.
It was less than a week, and we just kind of lost our shiz about it. I mean, in all honesty, when I look at what PK Subban could bring to that Predators team, and could he be the thing to get him over that second round hump? I don't know. But he at least has a lot of hospitals in Montreal he's taking care of now, so they got that out of him.
How do you think he feels about this deal, though?
I think he's a little ticked off.
Has he talked to anybody yet?
Yeah, I mean, he's a big media guy, and he thrived in the Montreal. He's one of the few people that thrived in a media market like that, and Nashville's not going to care.
That's true. Hey, kid, do you want to come in now? You want to come in now and wax philosophically about this? Hold on, let me switch everything over. I have to put everything to bring in the noise, bring in default, and we will go there.
You want me to read this out for the...
Go ahead, Dan.
All right, so they traded Martin Erat to Arizona for Rusty Klesla. Klesla was then flipped to Buffalo with Neuwirth for Halak and a third-rounder. They ended up trading Halak's rights to the Islanders and got a fourth-round pick. They traded the third-round pick that they got from Buffalo later to move up to select Jonas Siegenthaler and selected Nathan Walker with the above fourth-round pick. So there are two prospects of the Capital system that are the remains of Philip Forsberg.
The Aussie, great, awesome. The Aussie's there. Hold on, which microphone? I think it's...
I'm sure I sound further away.
Yes, you sound further away.
It's further away now. So, Jen, we were talking about PK Subban, and Jen is actively... Why is the speaker going up? Anyway.
Jen, how are all the snacks? First of all, let's get to the right chase. How do the snacks treat you?
They are sitting there waiting for me to dig into them because, frankly, I have no self-control.
It's true. This is very true.
Just eat an entire bag at a time. There's more where that came from. They came from Giant.
It's true. Giant puts them on for good deals.
Yeah, no, he's probably going to come home one day and find me, draped across the couch with, orange cheesy dust, all over my face and my arms and the couch. And...
It is 4th of July weekend.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with anything?
That's how the Pilgrims celebrated 4th of July.
Exactly, as they were coming over on their slave ships. Or as I like to call it, the Nina. So,
okay.
Subban. You alright? You gonna make it? Okay, so what are your thoughts, aside from the fact that this is the greatest deal in Montreal Canadiens history? Okay. Fair enough.
I think this is a really sketchy deal for several reasons, and I don't even know where to start. Where's Lyle?
He's coming on later.
He's later.
Later.
Yeah, we get to talk about it first, and then Lyle can tell us the truth.
Yeah, because we get to say whatever we want to say, and then he corrects us.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, number one, this is a deal about concerning a franchise player, and those are always iffy, and it takes a lot of time to know whether or not they're going to pay off. And I don't think this one is. PK's 27.
Yep.
And Weber is 31. And in normal life that's not a big difference, but in pro athlete life that's a pretty big gap. And if you watch Weber over the past 2 years, he's really not been the Weber everyone thinks he is. He's slowed down a little bit, and I don't see him picking back up terribly. Another problem with this is that basically they had a choice. They could choose between an award-winning defenseman or this really, frankly, mediocre coach, and they chose the coach.
Wait a minute. To be fair, Shea Weber did win the Marc Messier Leadership Award.
Yeah.
So let's not put that under anything here.
I agree.
Did a
Shea
great
Weber is
job.
an award winner.
Okay, but you and other people pointed out on Twitter, and I was thinking the same thing. The last time the Habs did this was 95. Patrick Roy.
Well, yeah, but that was more.
Nashville's winning the cup.
There you go. That's Jen said it first.
But this is a very much what was the GM's name back then? Cool.
Yeah, right on. Cool.
Yeah.
Rajah
And,
Gould.
yeah, he made a bunch of questionable deals like Bergevin is doing, and he made the same sort of decision that coach versus player. And another thing that bugs me is they're saying, well, he has character issues. And
He's black. That's what they
What
mean.
does that even mean in today's NHL?
My problem here
He's
is
scrappy.
Yeah, he's scrappy indeed.
my problem here is that they mean that he has an outsized personality, and they don't want that. They don't want, for some reason, they don't want their franchise player to be a babyface, like this out there babyface for whatever reason, and that's really weird to me. And I'm race plays into it, yes, but the league as a whole isn't really a big fan of players making themselves.
So since you brought it up, they did just send this player that they were talking, not that race has to be part of the conversation, they just sent him to Nashville.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of the places in the United States where race is probably still an issue as well. So, but then again, you do have, Joel Ward did play in Nashville, and Darius Rucker is killing it in Nashville.
Loving it down there.
Hootie's just, he's doing everything right.
I would definitely say that anybody who gives $10 million to children's hospitals has character issues.
Right. Like, what does that even mean?
That would definitely be the first thing that I bring up.
Well, and another problem with that is, you just brought in a guy who has been throwing around homophobic slurs on camera, on the ice, and that's not a
I'm not on that team.
She is going to smack you in the back of the head.
It's true.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a hard reset of his brain at one of these.
Haha, jokes on her. There is no brain.
But and
Well said, Scott.
and a guy, who's been caught using slurs, and you're bringing him in for leadership. That's just code for he's won a cup. That's not meaning much of anything. And plus you've got Patrick Kane being one of the big faces of the league right now, and it wasn't a character issue with Voynov.
Where did you go on this one? I think you left turn, and I'm still going straight on it.
I'm just making a point that character issues as a reason for trading someone is a sketchy reason.
And saying that there are many more players in the NHL that have far bigger character issues than PK Subban did.
And character issues.
The worst thing PK Subban has ever done is given $10 million to a children's hospital in Montreal.
Which exactly, fuck those kids.
No, but
and it's probably because he didn't speak French.
Well, that that could be another thing too.
Character issues is a very subjective thing. It's not an objective thing. So the character issues, not everyone's going to see someone that has character issues.
There's two schools of thought on that one. Neither of them are right. Go ahead.
Maybe he didn't like SpongeBob. Maybe
That's
that
right.
was his character issue.
See, that's
Bringing it full circle.
Good one. Love it. Anyway, you have thoughts on Hall? The Hall deal?
I want to have them drug tested.
Okay, that was weird. I didn't know where you were going with this one.
Who, the GMs or the players?
The GMs. I want all of the
Well, not Shiro. If I'm Ray Shiro and Chiarelli called me up and said, "Hey, you want Hall? We'll take Larson," I would have said, "You all right?"
To be fair, I will agree with the assessment that Larson is underrated. That being said, he is not that underrated.
No, absolutely. I completely agree.
I mean, is he underrated? Yeah, sure. But
He's underrated because he plays in New Jersey.
It's true. It's very true.
Yeah, it's I think, I don't know, 25 years or so of being a Habs fan. I mean, I was a fan before they won the Cup in '93. I was a fan in those dark, disturbing times, '95 to 2000.
Pierre Turgeon was the captain.
They treated their captain, what, 5 times in 3 years? Something like that?
He had the torch in the last Forum game.
Well, look at you, Wikipedia.
Does that get you extra fantasy points?
I think so. Torch is passed.
Torch is passed.
That.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, so, I mean, I've seen some, relatively dark times. And
With PK, really? You had to go that route?
no.
Too soon. Too soon.
About the moves that Bergevin has been making.
Yeah, no, I think Bergevin has really... What? Don't look at me like that. I don't know what Bergevin's thinking, and
Well, I'm beginning to wonder if he hasn't bought into his own, because a couple of years ago he was making those sort of stealing and wheeling deals. And
Yeah,
now,
he was being really shady about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now he wouldn't even take questions about PK. Like, if you're making this trade, own it.
His book is going to be spectacular when he's fired again.
I genuinely hope that this is a make or break, your job is on the line deal for Bergevin.
I hope the Mafia's behind it, because there has to be some other reason, right? Like
Montreal.
Like his family was being held captive by like French mafia or so. I'm sure that there's a French mafia, and it's probably something.
I was going to say, Frank, what does your dad have to do with this?
But like there has to be something else. Like I just don't buy this whole trade. Like, oh, he had character issues. Yeah, his character issues are going to be that he's going to win the Norris within the next 3 years, and he's going to be a perennial Norris contender for the rest of his career.
Yeah, and speaking of random Wikipedia type facts.
Here we go.
The last player to win the Norris and then be traded within 3 years is Rob Blake.
Hey, there you go. Same Stanley Cup team.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that was LA. That was a nice little LA deal. They didn't like him in purple, so they put him in maroon. and off.
Yeah.
Any other hot takes? This is the hot takery. We're serving up hot takes.
Yeah.
Oh, pet peeve.
Here we go.
Resign and resign are 2 different words. And when you write things about players resigning, re-sign, I would appreciate it if you type in sign.
Listen, the world doesn't revolve around
Do you know how much I love watching Twitter and articles written when during this time of the year, because it always talks about people resigning, and I'm like, really? Like Stamkos is in the prime of his career. Why did he resign now?
Yeah.
You're gonna give me Kovalchuk flashbacks, guys. Stop.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a random thing I had to yell about. It's not.
I love this time of the year.
Is it October yet?
No, I'll buy you a calendar. Buck.
Oh, I hate that too.
What else do you need?
I actually have music for resign versus resign.
Hot take music.
Hot take music.
Hot takery music, everybody. You got any other thoughts there, kiddo?
No, on PK, no. Well.
Anything? PK, the world, Stamkos?
We haven't even gotten to him yet.
What?
Yeah,
We haven't even gotten to
haven't
Stamkos
even
yet.
got to Stamkos yet. How about
What a day it's been when Steven Stamkos re-signed. Not even the second biggest story in the NHL.
the story that was supposed to carry us all throughout the summer dies.
I know.
Yeah, let's be completely honest. The reason we haven't talked about Stamkos yet is because he's fucked all of our shows. Eyes have been screwed our entire summer.
Yeah, he stole our summer from us. Like he stole our table.
Well, you just know you had the people on NHL Network waiting, hoping that he waited till August.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Drag this whole thing out.
He also stole our honey, like he stole our bike.
Were you reading my tweets?
There it is. got any hot takes with Better Tootin being bought out the last 2 years of this contract? Better Tootin.
He's still playing?
Exactly. Ex-Islanders owner getting a reduced sentence. There you go. Anyway.
This is a great day for hockey.
Dude, you know what? This could be the most exciting day of free agency.
And it's not even free agency yet.
The weird part about it.
Well,
I will say,
market now.
I'll go on record by saying that today will be the best day of the summer. Of all the signings, everything. They can do free agent frenzy for 8 hours whenever that occurs. What is that, Friday?
Yeah.
They can do that as much as they want. Today will be outweigh anything that goes on.
Well, all the people in Sportsnet who still have jobs, at least.
Oof. We can talk about that later. My God.
They got cut like a Jewish birthing place.
Oh.
Circumcision.
In all over the place.
So in this analogy, all of those people that don't have jobs anymore are foreskin?
Foreskins, yep.
That's good.
That's unfair to one or two of them.
You're right, Glenn Healy deserves better. Corey Hirsch effect lives on forever.
Corey Hirsch, I am angry about. We didn't even get to see him this year. We hung out with Corey Hirsch last year. I did not see him at all. But then again, I did not go to the draft. I played golf.
I saw him a little bit. He was wearing a salmon-colored shirt and giving up on the world.
Sounds about right.
Love you, brother.
That's what happens when you go salmon.
I was thinking, hey, I'm going to the draft next year because it's in Chicago, so I can go no matter what, and I know people there, and I can hang out, and it's cool. And I was like, hey, I could go see Corey Hirsch and say hello.
He'll get picked up from somewhere.
I hope so.
NHL Network has like 40 hours of programming to fill.
Speaking of,
They might be able to trade Marty Biron to another network for Corey Hirsch.
True. What did they screw up on?
they, instead of covering the trades and whatnot, they just had like a top 50 goals of the highlight show running or something.
Of course, because it's a fucking fraud of a channel.
Yeah. Yeah, like there was zero trade.
NHL Tonight didn't start until 5 Eastern time.
Exactly.
And all this went down at 3:30.
EJ Radick only works from 5 o'clock onward. He cannot give his analysis until 5 p.m. Eastern.
It's because he has a real job.
What?
It's the only way he subsidizes his life.
Is he working in the NHL store trying to supplement his income?
Yes, it's way easier. Then he just has to walk up the steps.
Exactly, and he lives in the production room, so he's there.
I would. I've seen that place. It's fucking huge.
It is pretty huge. It's great. They have everything you ever wanted there, and things you don't. Fantastic. I enjoyed it.
Those do they have those rubber ducks with like the player faces?
Yeah,
they do. Yeah, they do. They even have the little Lego pieces that aren't actually Lego pieces, so they can't call them Lego because they're like some offshoot brand.
Oh, the Oyo.
Oh, Oyo.
The Oyo players, yeah. They also have the full rinks now. It's amazing. I want to get several. I want to get several.
We have first edition Oyos, John. The Backstroms and the
We
Ovechkins.
do. I never put them together.
Well, you shouldn't. You should keep them in their boxes because you know they're going to be worth something someday.
Right.
Listen, on the Oyo's one today, man. It's 12-6 amazing.
I can't wait until the Kevin Hatcher Oyo comes out where you can staple him to the... Oh, that's actually real life. Sorry.
Darian also. He was a traffic cone.
You understand how much I want a Calle Johansson Oyo figure now?
I bet we can just paint one. Find somebody that's good at painting.
Get the Pierre Turgeon one and just put it face down in the boards.
And the Dale Hunter one lording over it, and then Lyle seeing Dale Hunter's penis.
That's a completely different Oyo.
That was a oh yo.
Well done. That's
Right now, Danny is trying to figure out what the hell he got himself into.
Exactly.
He's like, I'm just gonna sit quietly over here and pretend I heard none of them.
I'm just going through my Twitter feed.
He's just like, yeah, you know what? I dropped knowledge on Taylor Hall. I'm good here. We're good here. I don't need this deal with this.
I became an expert on Taylor Hall in 3.5 hours.
Perfect. And guess what? That's better than what Edmonton did in the West.
the week they've been working on the trade.
Yeah. So you're fine. You could be
Well,
that.
if I was trading Taylor Hall, the negotiations would have started with Adam Larson and probably a first-round draft pick.
Yeah, Adam Larson and a couple more.
So could it have been one of those situations where the Oilers... So remember when the Caps traded Jim Carey? The Capitals gave Boston the choice of Jim Carey or Ole Kolzig. Could this have, like, in 2 weeks, will we find out that, like, the Devils had a choice of, like, a couple players and ended up choosing Hall because it was the best fit, or he's just the best player that they could have gotten out of the deal?
2 weeks or by Friday. Like, this is a situation where we live in a generation where it's so you gotta get that news out. I think we'll know by Friday or at least by the end of the weekend what the deals were, because that's, you know, if it was a situation where, all right, you get Nugent Hopkins or you have Hall, I'm taking Hall all day, twice on Sunday.
Yeah, and that's why I don't think so. Man, I honestly, you could pinch me, and I don't know, I probably still wouldn't believe it. Taylor Hall for Adam Larson, straight up, no salary, no picks, no nothing.
And I wonder what the thought process behind it was for Chiarelli, because they're...
I finally made a shot, by the way. It's been like 3 weeks.
Attaboy.
Thanks.
Way to go. Just as the NBA Finals ended. You could have got a 10-day and won a ring. But I mean, the thing with Chiarelli is like, all right, Adam Larson's a good underrated defenseman. We're going to put him and build everyone around him like we tried to do with Justin Schultz, and that's not going to end up well.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
I
now
don't think
two
Adam
Schultz have won
Larson is
Stanley
going.
Cups, by the way.
I really don't think he's going to go that route. I could definitely see Adam Larson being a very good defenseman in Edmonton, but Adam Larson is a very good defenseman. Taylor Hall is a top 5 winger in the NHL.
Yes.
Like you just don't flip them one for one, and he's 24 and under contract until 2020 for $6 million a year. I mean, it's not like they were taking a bad contract. It's not that they were taking a declining player. It's not that even he was an underperforming player. I think he had an 80-point season 2 years ago.
yeah, I mean, the one thing that I guess haunts him could be maybe the concern of injuries.
But even still, I mean, you're going to compare his injury history to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins?
Yeah, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins doesn't have a left shoulder anymore. I'm fairly sure. I would take Taylor. I mean, and I guess Ray Shero actually redeemed himself after taking that Mark Savard time.
I'm fine with that.
So speaking of Schultz, by the way, Jeff Schultz won a Stanley Cup, right? Was that 13-14?
With the Kings, right?
With the Kings?
Yeah, Kings.
And then now Justin Schultz just won a Stanley Cup with the Penguins 2 years later. Does that mean Nick Schultz is going to get a Stanley Cup in 2 years with the Flyers?
I hope not.
It's the rule of Schultz.
But here's the thing. Jeff Schultz was like the 23rd defenseman and was called.
Doesn't matter. Still got a ring.
Matter. But I'm just saying, he skated the cup, and that's the only time he broke a sweat the entire.
Still got a ring.
That's
He had
fine. Even when he was playing, he didn't break a sweat, so it didn't matter.
His line in the playoffs in 2013-14 for the Kings: 7 games played, 0 everything else.
Of course it was. I'm surprised it was 0 plus minus. I would have assumed at least a plus 40.
Are you kidding? He led the Caps in plus minus that one year with plus 55.
Did he win the Alka-Seltzer plus minus award that year?
Probably.
Good. I missed that award.
If we were going Stableford scoring, he would have won everything.
He would have. Poor Jeff Schultz.
Poor Jeff Schultz.
Excuse me, in 96-97 and 97-98, it was the Bud Ice plus minus award.
Sorry. I'm thinking old school Capital Center, early 90s.
And then, all the way from 1998 to 2008, it was the Bud Light plus minus award.
Of course it was.
And then I guess they stopped wanting to be associated with shitty beer.
Yes. And then they're like, plus minus apparently isn't a good stat. Do that again.
Are we in our lifetime? Are we
Hold on.
see
This just in.
Yep.
Yeah. The next year, the plus minus award will be sponsored by Mark Messier.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah.
No. He's gonna personally select the plus minus leader. He's gonna personally select the person who wins the plus minus award. It might not be the person with the best plus minus. Keep that in mind. It's who Mark Messier thinks
While we're on the
would have
subject
won
of
the
Mark
plus
Messier,
minus.
does anybody find it funny that Trevor Linden never got the Mark Messier Leadership Award?
You know why I didn't get that sweet Lay's deal? Like, wow, if you can't follow my footsteps, kid, I ain't gonna give this award to you.
A friend of mine worked as a reporter, and I can't say who or how or when, but was telling me about how Messier was angling to be GM, and was angling like really hard.
Of course he was.
And
That's a known fact.
It just became this really, really awkward situation where they finally had to sit him down and go, look, you were a player, but you had zero front office experience. This and this has to happen first. And he just went, screw you, and left.
Was this with the Rangers? Because I know he tried hard because he was a special assistant to Glenn Sather with the Rangers for a
It's
long time.
basically like that Lay's commercial where you were standing outside of that person's apartment for
Yeah.
a really long time, I'm just assuming.
Yeah, this was one of those, he was angling really hard for a really true job, and he finally had to sit him down and go, look, you have no experience. You have to use this and this first.
And then they gave him his own award.
There you go. See? Who's smarter now?
And then he stomped off like Bender from Futurama. Fine, I'll build my own Vegas. Yeah.
I like Bender a lot.
Me too.
I like having them.
It's fun. It's fun
That's
too.
what this weekend turned into. Jesus.
Thursday night alone.
Are we
I
gonna
didn't
see?
even have to work.
Yeah. Are we ever gonna see any of these awards for advanced stats? Because plus minus probably at one point was a stat that everybody was like, "What are we keeping track of this stat for? This stat makes no sense." Now we got Corsi and all these things that.
Does serious question, does MLB have any of these kind of like advanced stats?
Oh, MLB's got more than hockey does.
Yeah.
There are no awards for them.
Oh, awards? No.
Like you don't get the VORP.
You don't get the WAR award.
Yeah. Value of a
Because what is it
replacement
good
player
for?
award.
I would like it. I'd like it though if they gave out the WHIP award though.
Whip and the Nene Award? Who's that going to?
See, it's like lobbing a softball to Scotty. He just knocks it out of the park.
There we go. Great times.
I imagine they'll have some sort of Corsi leader.
It's going to be during the Nerd Awards.
I wonder who's going to sponsor that one.
Not me. That's for goddamn sure.
Texas Instrument. Calculator joke. High five.
There's no. I don't feel like there will be an award like that in the future. There will just be open positions at NHL teams for these people who are calculating them.
Give a math degree.
Didn't the Oilers have some?
I'd like to make my own advanced stats that no one else can understand.
We did that for the Big Stand Invitational, brother.
True. See, I think we should do stuff like that. And then when people don't understand it, look down on them like they're morons. But really, it makes no sense whatsoever.
Perfect. What were you gonna say about the Oilers?
Didn't they hire some?
Yeah, they hired Dello. Hired Dello.
I would pay good money for the footage of him being informed that this trade was being made.
Oh, this was a Kevin Lowe trade. All like.
Oh, absolutely. This is Kevin Lowe and Craig McTavish banging each other, and then they trade Taylor Hall.
So in this analogy, Taylor Hall is the love child of the two of them?
Absolutely.
Okay, just clarifying that.
The analogies later on fire, by the way.
Yes.
Well, there was a time that two owners got drunk and decided to. One of them decided to sell a player for $1 million while he was drunk. They were both drunk. Like they wrote it on a napkin. And the next day they sobered up. And the GM, one GM called the other, was like, "Hey, I want my player." The first GM was like, "But we were drunk. Doesn't matter. I want my player." So it turned into this whole big thing, and ultimately it didn't go through. But, you know, it could be worse, I guess.
And that man was Kelly Kissio.
Do you know that he had the? I think he had the first hockey card in the Sharks jersey.
He might have, yeah. Sounds about right. I think he was like one of the first pick in the expansion draft.
It was, first or second.
First or second, yeah. Could have been Craig Cox.
There's only so much information I can hold in my brain at once, and then I feel like I'm going to have a stroke.
Yeah, and I have to hear about it every god.
Well, when it can't stay in her brain anymore, she has to tell you.
Yeah, no, at most inopportune times, like 3 in the morning.
But
Just
then
hit
you
him.
can hold it. You can hold it in your brain so that when she needs it back, she just asks you.
Your brain's just
jokes
stored.
on her. I have no memory retention.
Right. I can email him a random picture of like a goalie. There's no real identifying, like, you can't really see his mask, you can't really see his number. I'm like, who is this? He's like, oh, that's...
Because I'm partially autistic, okay? I understand shapes and colors and numbers. I'm like, I'm grown for Christ's sake.
It's like, oh yeah, I remember the year that Dominic Hasek played for the Blackhawks, and he wore the Brian pads.
Of course, the
when
great
he
air packs. They were the greatest. And then he went to Buffalo, he wore the Heatons at that point, and then I think sometime after Buffalo, he decided to switch to TPS when he got to the Red Wings.
TPS, he did with the Red Wings.
Yep. All while wearing that beautiful helmet.
Beautiful.
Combination.
I have one of those in my. I think it's in my hockey. Oh, Mark still has my hockey bag.
Okay.
I think it's in my hockey bag.
It's in the garage now, at least.
That's nice.
It's no Tommy Satterstrom bubble, that's for damn sure. Nothing can beat a Tommy Satterstrom bubble. Which is the close knit friendships that Tommy Satterstrom has in Sweden.
Yes, I was going to say that it was the next up-and-coming punk band from North Dakota.
That'd be great. If you know what, we got to start that. We gotta find garage bands during garage sales and then buy the kids.
By the kids?
Buy them into slavery, and then we'll be fine.
And then you call them the Tommy Soderstrom bubble?
Perfect. Done. Johnny, if that doesn't happen, that can be your band. It's Johnny Patanzo and the Tommy Soderstrom bubble.
That'll actually be when I go rock halfway through my career.
There it is.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, well,
just for one CD, I'll go rock, and I'll be known as the Tommy Soderstrom bubble.
Perfect.
And I'll have a soul patch.
Well, obviously.
Yeah, that's the only way that you can distinguish people that are rock.
First off, of course, like Chris Gaines. What do you think he was referencing? The guy from Smash Mouth?
Listen, if you're
Somebody want... No, it's not terrible. It's a terrible situation we're throwing ourselves into.
Are you guys going to see Smash Mouth or what?
No, it passed, and I'm pissed off.
Yeah.
I am upset that Smash Mouth did not.
You'll get to see them the next time they do a carnival around your area, probably.
Well, that's
like
the best
3
part
weeks.
about them is they don't stop coming and they don't stop coming and they don't stop
Oh.
He's going to be found dead, and you all are my witnesses that was justifiable.
That's fine. As long as you don't do it on camera.
That's true. And then we'd have evidence.
I'll have to delete this show from YouTube.
I'm just not going to see it after we log off. After you hit the end broadcast button, I'm going to stab in the throat.
I can think of worse ways to go out.
Yeah, being eaten by a whale.
There have to be a lot of things that go wrong for you to be eaten by a whale.
I don't know. You remember me in high school? Up top! There it is.
I was about to ask if you had many whales in North Dakota, but I don't know if I want you to answer that question.
By the way, shout out Walmart. Come on, Jen, you want to crack?
Oh, man.
Jen, thank you for the jacket again.
You're welcome. Well, he's the one who found it.
Right.
All right, well, I just assumed that it was you because it was something cool at a thrift store. So
Well, I was there, so yes. Yeah, that's how these things happen.
Exactly, it's an aura.
Yeah. Weirdly lucky.
Weirdly lucky. Mm. You know me, so you're definitely.
Should I get Lyle on? We haven't talked about anything else except for these three things right now.
Exactly, all the trades. Oh, I need a new website. Broke on me.
You need a website?
Yeah, because I was trying to like every time I hit my hand on this corner here, it just shut off completely.
So it's your fault. It's not the camera's fault.
That's the computer's fault, I think. It just confesses. So.
I have one. I have a website, but I don't know.
Good. This is good. Good show, guys.
Hey,
Keep it up.
Well, come on. Come up with a topic there, sir.
You got a list of topics on your rundown there, Scotty.
I don't have my rundown in front of me. I'm not prepared for this.
So do you want to talk about the Hall of Fame inductees?
Oh, by the way, I'm pissed that Laura canceled us for a 4th straight year because like this Eric Lindros thing she would have loved. So Eric Lindros in the Hall of Fame, Rogie Vachon in the Hall of Fame finally, Sergei Makarov in the Hall of Fame, and Pat Quinn going in as a builder. I'm fine with the Lindros thing. I was totally fine with Eric Lindros getting in the Hall of Fame. I'm here too. I'm. Jen brings up a point that Theo Fleury should be the next one in, and I can't say I argue too much with it.
If Lindros is in, Fleury should be in.
I kind of feel like Fleury should have made it before Lindros.
Yeah.
I do too. I think there are people. Yeah, the selection is political. I mean, there's a lot of politics who gets in and who's shut out, and you know that's just every year, and that's natural. And I'm sure the same thing goes on in baseball and football and whatever else.
That's the part. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So some of it with Fleury and Lindros is that they rubbed a lot of people the wrong way for a long time.
But it also could have been that Lindros fucked up in the beginning of his career. And by the time the end of his career came around, you kind of were like, I don't really remember that very much. All the stuff that you ever heard about Theo Fleury happened at the end of his career.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a very lasting impression. But I mean, still, like even today, we think about.
I mean, even the donkey and the sex toys in England.
Right. Oh yeah. Jesus Christ! I almost forgot about that in Belfast.
What?
Yeah. When every time he came to play out in Belfast or out in England when he played with the Belfast Giants, they brought sex toys and inflatable donkeys when he was playing. It was the weirdest goddamn thing ever. Those English bastards, I tell you.
Well, his first game as a Giant, he got tossed out.
After he scored 4 goals and 4 assists.
So I mean, I wonder if that's the big issue at this point.
Wait, did you just call that a donkey trick?
Yeah, donkey show of the league.
A donkey trick is something completely different south of the border.
That's Mexican hockey. So there you go. Yeah, I mean. The Fleury thing, yeah, I mean that's a very good point. That the stuff that really unraveled during the end of his career, and like that could be a huge lasting impression. It's not the first impression you make; it's the impression you get afterwards.
Yeah.
But everybody loves a good redemption story.
Yeah.
We love a good redemption song, Lyle, just like Bob Marley.
Yes, absolutely.
Welcome, Lyle Richardson, for Spectre's Hockey, everybody. Hello.
Hi, Jen.
So, Lyle, we're in this intrinsic debate about Eric Lindros and the Hall of Fame bid, and against Theo Fleury, and how Theo Fleury may or may not should have gotten in beforehand.
No, Lindros should have gotten in before Fleury. Yeah. No, he should have. He absolutely should have.
Why should he have?
Lindros was a better player. Quite simply, the stats back it up. He sits 19th in point per game production. Fleury's not even close. Okay? And I'm not knocking Theo. Theo was a terrific player in his own right in the 1990s, especially when you consider all the demons he had to deal with while he was in his prime. This shit was going on. Forgive the language. Not to hell with it. I'm not in a good mood today. Fine. For reasons which will become apparent very soon.
I know exactly what it is.
But anyway, well, our listeners might not. But anyway, regardless. But no, Lindros was the better player. Won the Hart Trophy in 1995. Led the Flyers to the Stanley Cup Final in 1997.
could have achieved a hell of a lot more if not for concussion injuries. But as I said, you just look at it, in the late 90s, he was, along with Jaromir Jagr, the most dominant forward in the game. Period. Full stop. He was. He and Jagr. Jagr gets the edge. Jagr was the better player. But Lindros was right there with him. So that's why he gets that. You could say, well, he never achieved, everything he could have achieved or blah, 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 and that's why. Well, there are other players who, had their careers cut short too. Pavel Bure, perfect example. Pavel Bure got into the Hockey Hall of Fame before Lindros did. So the argument that saying Lindros, because he didn't accomplish as much as he could have, was career cut short by injuries, that doesn't hold water because Pavel Bure's in the Hall. So you got to have Bure in there, you got to have Lindros in there. And again, I think it's very telling that Bob Clarke, the guy that he feuded with for years in Philadelphia, was the one who made the biggest pitch for Lindros to get into the Hockey Hall of Fame. Because, Clarke always said, regardless of the business issues and everything else, in his mind, Lindros deserved to be in the Hockey Hall of Fame. He said that 10 years ago when Lindros retired. We were on this very show talking about it 10 years ago. I remember it distinctly because me and Laura got into a heated exchange. Yeah, that was the night of the Jägermeister, as I recall.
I had the bottle still upstairs.
As a souvenir of the action. But,
No, there's still some in it.
Oh, my God. Oh, Jesus. It's probably congealed into something awful.
That's fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah. But anyway.
It was already shit to begin with.
Wait, it doesn't get better with age?
No. Jack and Jill cough medicine never gets better with age. Yeah. So, even 10 years ago when Lindros announced his retirement, Bob Clarke was on the TSN panel, and they asked him point blank, do you think he should be in the Hall of Fame? He said, absolutely. He absolutely belongs in the Hockey Hall of Fame.
I mean, if anybody asked me that question, I'd say the same thing, so I don't blame him.
For very different reasons, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean,
but
yes, I should be in the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Yes. No. He was saying that. No, Clarke was saying Lindros should be in the Hockey Hall of Fame. Not Lindros wasn't saying he should be. No.
No, Bobby Clarke was saying should he be in the Hockey Hall of Fame? Yes.
Already in there.
He was already in there.
Well,
nice
then that's
try.
why he should answer yes.
You're not helping. Missed you, buddy. Happy birthday, by the way. Belated birthday.
Thank you.
Yes.
The year of Eddie Murray.
I got a 15-year-old for my birthday.
Oh,
McKella, 15-year-old.
Yeah. I got a 10-year-old today. Glenn Morgan. Yes.
It's going to be left tomorrow.
I'm not touching alcohol tonight. I don't think that would be very advisable, especially the day before unrestricted free agency.
Well, there's nothing to talk about. Stamkos signed.
Stamkos signing was the sound of a whole bunch of writers very sadly deleting their
Oh my God.
happened in free agency articles.
I was one of them, okay? I working on a Bleacher Report piece. I had to delete 3 of my slides today and redo them. 3! God damn it! God damn it!
This is gonna be below 15 now.
I felt like Eric Cartman. God damn it! Because I had one of them, and one of them was the Stamkos one. It was Stamkos to the Red Wings. Question mark, because they were ready to make a big pit. Boy, are they pissed right now. You think the Leafs are pissed.
Who was thinking that Brendan Shanahan threw his cell phone through a window?
But I agree with what Darren Dreger said today. He said stick with the Shanahan plan. Like, Dreger seemed almost pleased that this happened. He was just like, for God's sake, don't go off the rails, you guys. You're building a good thing here. Don't go and blow your brains out with a $10, $11, or $12 million per season contract on this guy. In a few years' time, your kids like Mitch Marner and Nylander, and of course now, your first round pick of this year, Austin Matthews are going to be due big contracts. You don't need to have a $10, $11, $12 million player tying up your cap space. For God's sakes, bad enough you're still going to have Lupul hanging around for another couple of years. For God's sake, because they're not moving that contract, kiddies. Nuh-uh. So. But no.
Didn't we say the same thing about Shea Weber and his contract when he signed? though?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. We did say that, didn't we? Yeah. I hate you, Mark. I hate you more and more as
I
the
wasn't
show
on this,
progresses.
but you guys probably said the same thing about David Clarkson's contract.
True.
Well, they might. Okay, they might be able to move it. Let's say they might be able to move it, but this is a guy who also has has an injury history right now. Say you will about David Clarkson, he was healthy. Say you will about Shea Weber, he's healthy. Say you will about a lot of these toxic contracts, they get moved, the guys are healthy. Very few of them now. Nathan Horton, yes. Maybe if the Leafs could find another injury guy, but again, that's going to be swapping toxic contracts to be able to make that work. So, you want to get rid of Lupul, you're trying to shed salary here, not take on another one. So I don't see how that's going to work. This could be one of those ones where sounds good in theory, might not work in actual practice.
The only way you do that is when you do what the Caps did with the Light contract, is give up a pick and a prospect with it, and the Leafs, a rebuilding team can't afford that.
Well, and I mean that's the thing. Can you find a team that's got the cap space willing to do it? I mean, right now the Coyotes are out. Maybe next summer. Next summer if they can, if they're willing to move up and grab, because let's face it, Toronto's still going to be, I think, in a top 10 draft pick team. They'll get better,
they're going to
but
end up like Buffalo did this past year.
Yeah, you'll get a move.
They'll be a little better, but I don't think it's a lottery team.
No, they're going to move up. They'll improve, but they're still going to be sort of between 6 and 10. I think we can agree. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah. What?
So I still don't understand, and we don't have to go down this path, but I still don't understand how the Arizona Coyotes can just take on money, like a contract like this, when they're technically still being run by the NHL, are they not?
No, they're not. No more.
Somebody bought them.
No more. They were actually bought, so no more.
Okay.
And
but even still, after that contract, Datsuk's contract was voided. They're not paying him anything this year. The cap hit is just...
They're just taking on the cap hit. It's just dead cap space they're willing to absorb. And for them, it was worth it because, and Scotty, you and I talked about it at the draft when the trade happened, this gave them the opportunity to jump up 4 spots from 20th to 16th and grab Jacob Chychrun, which is the guy they really wanted and didn't think was still going to be available at that level. So that's why they were willing to do that.
Yeah, I was pretty pissed when they took Clayton Keller at 7.
Yeah, I mean, the draft itself was like...
That was weird.
That was weird.
First round was that had a weird vibe to it the whole night.
Yeah, I think it could have been the buffalo chicken that they had. That could have been the vibe.
No, that was what we had the next day. Saturday was a good day. The buffalo chicken was Saturday, Scotty. That was a good day.
I don't know what they had the earlier. We just
we didn't get there in time and didn't care. So. Yeah. we just wanted seats and water at that point. We did after our forced march through First Niagara Center. Oh man, that was great though. That's one of these fond memories you look back on. I was telling my wife about it afterward. We had a good laugh. So.
We didn't. I don't think we talked about this on the show. Is that after we got to the press box up top, it was full. We're like, all right, let's go back down. So we get down the elevator. It says like different areas, like the arrows. I'm just like, let's go to the one that only has one arrow because we'll get around faster. Because I don't know. About 10 minutes later, we found where we need to be. We went around the entire bowels of the arena, go through all the chairs, all the weird tables.
Can I tell you, that was the only moment when I got nervous was as we got through the hallways and they got narrower and narrower because all of the chairs and divider walls that were stacked up alongside us, just like, ooh, this may not end well. And I told you, it put me in mind of the scene from Spinal Tap where they're staggering around in the building trying to find the stage. Oh, Buffalo! Okay, this one.
Do you know how much I would have paid right now to have Gary Bettman on the stage? You guys come like through like the back part to the stage and be like, "This isn't the meteorizer."
That would have been fantastic if we could have pulled that off. We would have been the only ones cheered on that stage with Gary Bettman standing there.
That's true.
Yeah. Who are those guys? Who cares? Yay! Woo!
And I would have went on a 15-minute rant about the Portuguese.
You like come over and you're like, Gary, let me have the mic for a second. All right, so I need to tell you people about your food.
Where's Eric Francis? Eric Francis.
Sauce on everything, you sons of bitches. We get it. God.
Hey,
The sauce.
you were the only one. You were the only one burping up chicken wings on Friday, my friend.
Exactly, because I was the only one.
You were the only one who ate chicken wings on Thursday night.
Johnny Rosen, and that was about it. Everyone else is just like, oh, chicken wings.
Talk to him, Jen. Talk to him, Jen.
Like she's good at talking out of any stupid idea.
The camera. Like, okay.
Exactly. No, you go ahead. No, this seems great.
This is good. No, have another one. Have another one. Yeah, with more hot sauce. Have some more.
Perfect.
It's okay. It's okay. The beer will extinguish the fire. It's okay. It's okay. Nothing bad could possibly come from this the next day.
Nothing bad could possibly go wrong.
Possibly.
Go wrong.
Me flunk English? That's impossible. Anyway.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway.
Let's get down to brass tacks.
Let's do it.
I have brass tacks music. Hold on a second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I just need to use my thumb to open it up. There we go.
Brass tacks. Bag of fun. Brass tacks. Kicking it old school.
Here we go. Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Feder Teuton's contract was bought out for the last 2 years, Lyle. Now, this was a shock to many. I didn't realize Feder Teuton was still in the league. And
Well, yeah.
I primarily looked at him,
Oh, look, he's leaving. You made him leave.
and he's just gone. He said, fuck this place, I'm out of here. And he
Yeah.
just turned the light.
We're sorry. I will make sure he never talks about Feder Teuton again in your presence. Sorry that made you leave. Daniel, I am so sorry.
All right, so
Not our fault. The man's out of control. What can I tell you? You can't take him anywhere.
All the exciting shit that happened in the NHL today. You want to talk about Feder Teuton?
The only Feder that I really like is Fedorov.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that's a name that you can remember.
It just sounds like you're stuttering.
Johnny, man, you are still red hot from the weekend, brother. Well done. Well done.
Drinking.
It was the scotch.
Yes.
I decided that I wanted to see if it would still work, so I took some before the show.
And it still works, doesn't it?
There it is. All right, Lyle, so
Okay. Bring the pain.
PK Subban.
Oh.
Tonight.
I wish I had sad music on my phone.
I think you do. I think you might.
Someone play
No, I think I have sad music. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can pull up some sad music.
Sad music.
Here we go, this is sad music.
Did you really expect anything else, Lyle?
This is sad. This is sad.
I was hoping you would go there, and he did.
And he did. Okay.
It's like we've done this show for 15 years.
Okay.
There are many in the camp, Lyle, who say, "The fuck." There's many others who say, "The hell," because it's obviously a different.
Put me into the profanity side.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in the name of our Lord, they're both profanities. God bless.
Yeah, but one's a lot worse than another, my friend.
So, when Mark Bergevin's unemployed in April,
It's gonna be that long?
fair point. So, November 16th, when he's fired, what's going to happen then?
All right. Well, actually,
Adjust the pillow. Here we go.
yeah, I gotta adjust my back support here. I need a new chair, big time. Anyway, by the way, my driveway looks fantastic. Just saying.
That's good.
Nice. I'm glad that got finished.
Glad the driveway came through.
Got her done. Anyway, I'm just delaying the inevitable because you guys know what's coming.
Exactly. A racist rant.
Oh, jeez.
No. Oh, no.
What? Oh.
It's not a racist bone in my body. I'm Canadian, my friend. This was a stupid fucking trade.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid. There was no reason to make this trade.
Is this tirade music?
It was no. This was a stupid trade, and it was done because Marc Bergevin and Michel Therrien did not like PK Subban's style of play. They probably didn't like his attitude. He's not, these two guys are old school guys, and I'm not. And by the way, nothing to do with racism or anything like that. I want to get that clearly right now because I know that I've seen that a couple of times thrown up on Twitter. That it was done because they hated PK because he's black, and that had absolutely nothing to do with it. It's just that they did not like Subban's style of play. They did not like his attitude, and that's why that trade was done. Go back 2 years ago when they were doing that contract negotiation, and the time ran out. They went to arbitration. Time ran out in arbitration. No deal. So it was going to go for an arbiter, and inside of 12 hours, a deal was done because the Canadiens owner got involved. Jeff Molson got involved and said, sign him. But it's 2 years later, okay? And what happened, right? The team imploded this season. And there was this talk, and there was, of course, the usual talk of, PK is a trouble in the room. PK was difficult to get along with. He too many giveaways, blah, blah, blah. PK Subban is a better defenseman than Shea Weber. There was no reason to make this trade other than the fact they did not like Subban's style of play and didn't like his attitude and wanted him gone. Because these guys prefer players who follow orders and are not flamboyant. They like their players nice and quiet. Like Carey Price, like Max Pacioretty, guys who don't make waves. And I'm not knocking Price or Pacioretty, but let's face it, those two guys wouldn't say shit if their mouth was full of it. Okay? So that's why. Whereas PK was willing to speak his mind, and he would do it good-naturedly and everything like that. He never ducked the media. He was never afraid to say what was on his mind. And that's something that just does not fly with the Montreal Canadiens.
Did Jeffrey Molson have to stamp this out? Did he have to sign off on this?
Oh, he probably did. And I dare say that, Bergevin probably sold him on it by going, look, we're getting Shea Weber. And you know what? If this was Shea Weber of 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, as much as I would still hate to see PK go, I could at least say, yeah, but we're getting a guy back who's more physical, who does play a more defensively responsible game. So okay, let's at least call it a wash, and we'll be fine with it. This is not a wash. Shea Weber will be,
if they were the same age.
If they were at the same level, and they're not at the same level. That's why I say 4 or 5 years ago. He's not at the same level. Shea Weber has been a fading player for the last 2 seasons. My God, anybody with eyes who saw that performance with the Predators against the Sharks this year's playoffs, especially those last 2 games, he was gassed. And he was playing with a defense core that was deeper than what Montreal has now. Steve Dangle, I just got done watching his reaction to that trade, plus the Hall trade, which I hope we'll get a chance to talk to about as well, and the Stamkos nonsense.
Hey,
I don't want to take up the
basement. Let's just talk all night.
I don't want to take up this whole segment on talking about.
If we talk all night, I'm gonna need more beer.
Make it happen, sir.
Yeah, I still have work to do after the segment's done, guys. So it's the time of year. But anyway. But
it's one of those things, Lau, where you can't put into words because you don't think it was going to happen. This is one of those. We had an idea. There's like, the rumors are abound, but
yeah.
for Shea Weber, for an aging odometer over 100,000 miles, Shea Weber?
Yeah. And the thing is, what I was trying to say, Steve Dangle was talking about this before I came on the show, and he asked the question. He was saying, he said, Shea Weber, listen, he had Ryan Suter for a few years playing alongside him, defense partner. The last couple of years, he had Roman Josi, okay, and in both cases, a deeper defense core. Who's he going to be playing with in Montreal on that blue line? Riddle me this, he said. And that's an excellent riddle. Who's he going to be playing with? An even more aging Andrei Markov? A decent Jeff Petrie, but let's face it, Jeff Petrie is no Roman Josi. He's no Ryan Suter. Okay? Who the hell is he playing with? Okay? He's going to be relied upon to carry the mail for these guys, and he can't do it anymore. All right? He needs help. He needs
He's also played in a mostly defensive system most of his career.
Very much so.
Yeah. So, well, what's he going to get in Montreal? Therrien's choice. Therrien supposedly plays a defensive system. Yeah, the defensive system is, we got PK. Or, no, sorry. Our defensive system is we've got Carey Price. That's their defensive system. Carey Price.
I haven't seen a defensive system out of Montreal for years.
No.
Yeah. Danny, what were you saying?
I was going to say, what is Montreal going to do? They were goal-starved as it is. Now you're getting rid of the defenseman who has the most points in the NHL the last 3 years for Shea Weber, who, he's a great defenseman. But PK Subban is a superstar.
Yep. Exactly. And Shea Weber, Shea Weber got a lot of power play points last year. Yep, scored 12 goals. Yay! Fantastic on the power play.
I mean, that shot's never going to leave him.
Yeah, good for him. Yes, he's got a bomb of a shot, and so did PK.
Yep.
You know? I mean,
Isn't this great though? I mean, of all the teams that Shea Weber could have wound up on, where he easily would have been the best defenseman on the team, and people would have been excited to get him. Like, he winds up on a team where they traded the better defenseman goes the other way.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, to a conference where it's a faster conference, and he's lost a step or two.
Exactly.
Oh, PK Subban is going to be loving it.
In
the Western Conference.
In
Nashville. God. Oh, yeah.
Nashville, I believe he is now the oldest defenseman on the team.
Yeah, you're right, Jen. Yep, the other guys are 25 and younger. You're right.
Yossi's 25, right, 24.
Yeah, exactly.
That defense, and he's just going to have, he's going to be a kegger of a performance.
Look who he's going to look who he's going to have to pass to. He's going to look up and he's going to see Ryan Johansson. He's going to look up and see Philip Forsberg. He's going to look up, I mean, and on that power play, he's just going to thrive. So when he said today in his farewell that, this move to Nashville moves him closer to the Stanley Cup, he's not lying. The only thing that I think that will hold back the Predators is their goaltending. Yeah, is in net. It's in net. Because Pekka Rinne, this past season, concern. But
speaking of something else that we wouldn't have said 3 years ago, like this whole shit, Shea Weber 3 years ago. You wanted Shea Weber from 3 years ago. Pekka Rinne also from 3 years ago to now. It's a completely different player.
Yeah, he hasn't been the same since that hip injury.
That's right.
When he had, wasn't it E. coli?
Yeah, he did. He had some kind of
kind of a hip infection. I don't know if it was E. coli, but it was definitely a hip infection. Some kind of along the lines of a staph infection or something like that. But same thing, only different, I guess. Jen, you already. What do you think? Did I hit all the marks?
Yeah, I think you hit pretty much all of them.
Yeah,
I will say that. So Jen Bruntz.
I saw it and I took my mouse on my computer. I just banged it a couple of times. I was like, okay, refresh.
When I first saw that come up, the first one who broke it was Nick Kyprios, and the first thing I thought was this is a fake Twitter, one of these fake Twitter accounts. So I clicked on it, and sure enough, it was Kyprios, and then I thought it must be hacked, and then Friedman hops on, and I'm just like, oh god, no, and it's just.
By the way, it was E. coli.
It was E. coli. I stand corrected. Well played, Daniel. Well done.
Everybody, collect your money.
Well done.
I did not. I've never had E. coli. But Jen actually said something earlier that basically, I'm paraphrasing at this point, that PK Subban got traded because he was a bit too eccentric for Montreal's system.
That's why, yeah.
Yeah, it's basically coming down to, it seems like.
Bit more of a freelancer. Yeah. I mean, PK, high risk, high reward, but I'm telling you. I mean, David Poile, did you see the press conference of him today? He was like a kid at Christmas. I mean, he could barely contain himself.
He got his new bit of hair dye, Lyle.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And this is a better quality hair dye, too.
Not just for men.
Well, because let's face it, he was forced into that Shea Weber contract.
Yep.
That was not a deal he wanted to do. He did that grudgingly. He had to do it because he couldn't. He'd already lost Ryan Suter. He couldn't risk losing Shea Weber. okay, and send the wrong message to the fan base. But he matched that contract grudgingly. So the fact that he got to get rid of that rotten deal, which has 10 more years to go at a cap hit of over $7.8 million a season, okay, to get in a younger player, PK Subban, whose deal has, 6 more years left to go?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, it's a little more expensive, sure, but lesser deal, and you get a player in his prime. As I said, he's giddy. He and Laviolette, I mean, sitting next to him, and he's just like, could barely contain a smile. Like, it just, they can't believe this dropped in their lap. But I'm going to say something right now regarding Bergevin. Like I said, most of the deals he's made as a general manager, I liked. I agreed with them. I mean, the most recent one where he shipped out Lars Eller, got a couple of draft picks, brought in Andrew Shaw, I liked that move. Okay? I thought that was a good trade. Most of the trades he made were good. This one is just
it's Philip Forsberg moment.
It's absolutely no.
Oh,
this is his Patrick Waugh moment.
Yep.
That's what this is.
So can this at some point turn? Can it flip into something better, or is this the end all be all of this trade? Like, is this where it ends, and we're just like,
this is
Bergevin?
my friend.
So there's one other thing that hasn't been talked about yet, and it's still the cap recapture penalty.
Actually,
so
the cap.
So the cap recapture will still go to Nashville if Shea Weber retires after 9 years.
Yes.
So if Shea Weber retires 1 year early, do you know what the recapture penalty is to Nashville?
What?
$24.5 million.
Ooh,
it's 1 quarter. It's 1 quarter the total value of the contract divided by the remaining years.
Wow. That. Oof. Oof.
We need to start having segments sponsored by Microsoft Excel.
Yeah, really, eh?
Or Google Sheets.
Yeah, but that's an excellent point, Danny. Yeah, I mean, at least Montreal dodges that bullet, thank God. Yeah. When I first saw that, I thought, oh shit, there's going to be
disgruntled Shea Weber 9 years from now after finishing in like 4th or 5th place in the Atlantic Division. I'm gonna quit a year.
Just the hell with it. I got my money. I'm tired. I'm sick of this shit. Nobody else wants me. They can't trade me. Fuck you guys.
Well, last year of the contract, I think he makes $1 million total because it's a pre-CBA contract.
Yep, and it was heavily front-loaded. I'm still surprised that deal was allowed. I mean, for God's sake, they kicked the Kovalchuk deal to the curb. That was almost as bad.
The second one wasn't any better than the first one.
No, the first one was, and that's what I'm comparing it to, is the first one. I mean, Jesus. But Bergevin, this was not a smart trade because Bergevin let his emotions get the better of him. And he can sit down and he can say, oh no, had a good relationship with PK, nothing to do with that. No, there was no issues with Michel Therrien. But he's going to pay a price for his loyalty to his coach. And this is the same goddamn mistake that Reggie Houle made 21 years ago. He stuck by his coach and traded a superstar. And they did not get a fair return. And unless Bergevin has got something else up his sleeve that can kind of offset this, and God only knows what it could be, unless he's got something up his sleeve that's going to, But hey, Bobby Orr is a good player. Let's bring him out of retirement. But unless he's got something to help, make this somehow a little more palatable to Habs fans, they're going to look back on this in 5 years and go, yeah, this is Patrick Waugh all over again. This is the trade that sent the Habs tumbling. This is the trade where they wasted the best years of Carey Price. They wasted the best years of Max Pacioretty. They wasted the best years of Brendan Gallagher, and on it'll go. Okay?
From a perennial cup team to a possible perennial lottery team. For the
like I said, believe me, I would love to be wrong on this assessment. I would love to turn around next year and say, oh my God, look, Shea Weber is lifting the Stanley Cup for Montreal. I was so wrong. But that's the exact face. Yeah, no.
Yeah. So on the flip side of that, what does this trade do to Nashville in the Central Division? So the Central's already stacked to begin with.
Boom, baby.
Like,
boom.
How do you see that division shaking out next year?
Oh my God.
I think Nashville takes it, honestly.
Nashville, well, if they get like
2 years ago.
If Rennie can a little more consistency there in goal, yeah. Yeah, you got to figure they're going to be charging up there because putting Subban in there, my lord. Oh,
Plus, isn't that year 2 with Laviolette?
this is their second, heading into season 3 now, I think, with Laviolette.
This will be season 3.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, how do you think Kevin Cheveldale is thinking? It took that waste of a defense. I could have sent him Jacob Truber for Christ's sake.
I was actually just saw a tweet. I mean, I'm going to back into the Taylor Hall trade now. It said a team president called, I guess, Pierre LeBrun and said, I would have sent him 2 first-round picks and a top 4 D prospect. For Taylor Hall.
I mean,
Thank you.
Thanks, Jen.
Make sure the potatoes are really baked this time.
She's gonna kill you in your sleep.
Love you. Love you.
She's gonna kill you with the potatoes.
Here's your potatoes, you. Yeah.
Zach, what? Go. They're not going to talk about you behind your back.
No.
All right, I'm going to get a beer.
We only say good things.
No, we only say good things.
But no, yeah, enough of the Subban. I could rant and on, and I don't want to bore you guys. Yeah, I will say this: at least Montreal got a top 2 defenseman in exchange for Subban. Such as it is, they still get top 2 defenseman. What in the blue hell was Peter Chiarelli thinking? This.
Danny's left us because he's so happy.
He's got to get a beer. He's got to get a beer. He raised.
So I'm going to bring up something before we start these conversations, but I would pay like multiple amounts of money at this point to find out how this occurred. Both of these trades. Just find out, like, so did Bergevin go to Nashville and be like, hey, we would like to take Shea Weber for PK Subban, and Poyle was like, fuck it, sure.
Accept.
Or did Poyle like go to Montreal and be like, hey, so we heard that you might have like phone calls and stuff about Subban, like I mean, what about Shea Weber? Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll send you Shea Weber for PK Subban. Thanks. You know, like I kind of want to know how these occurred now at this point. Like, it's cool that they occurred. Like we have stuff to talk about, right?
Well, it definitely shakes things up.
How did this come about? Like, this is why everything should be in HBO 20 for 20 or whatever the 24
or whatever. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, regarding the Subban thing, very quickly. Apparently, according to Bergevin, he was approached by Poyle at the draft on Friday night about this.
If that deal would have went down, Buffalo would have burned.
Oh man, yeah, but they were just they said, well, I just want to revisit, blah blah blah.
Buffalo would have burned, but no one would have noticed.
I think half of it's already run down.
Exactly.
But they have great. The people are really nice.
People are great.
They are. But to get back to Taylor Hall, though, I mean, the Hall thing. I don't know what the full deal is on that. I mean, we know that Chiarelli was in on Shattenkirk, but the asking price apparently was too high. Though, for God's sake, you could have had Taylor Hall. Jesus, really, if you were willing to move Taylor Hall, why wouldn't you do it for Kevin Shattenkirk? I don't see Doug Armstrong saying no to that deal. The only reason why I would say that is that he has no intention of sending him to a Western Conference team. I think Doug Armstrong really wants to send him to the East. Yes. So, not to a rival where he's going to end up facing 6 times a year.
As terrible as Edmonton has been, let's be honest, a guy like Shattenkirk could still kill you 2 or 3 times a season when you face him. So
big time. But Taylor Hall for Adam Larson, straight up. I mean, I understand Weber for Subban straight up. That I can at least understand that. But this is it made no fucking sense. I mean, it just didn't. Like, when I first saw that, and initially TSN, when they reported it, they were just like, in a package, they got sent Taylor Hall for Adam Larson in a package deal, was their initial report. So I'm waiting. I was like, okay, well, all right, yeah, Adam Larson going to be the center and a centerpiece of the deal. Okay, fine. And I'm waiting, and then like 10 minutes later came back, no, that's it. That's the deal. And I was just absolutely gobsmacked by that. I was like, you're kidding. I mean, Adam Larson, promising young defenseman, yeah. I mean, he really improved over the last couple seasons. But don't forget, 2 years ago, he did a stint in the minors.
Yep.
That's how bad he was struggling 2 years ago. Now, granted, it was
the coach.
absolutely.
For someone who's probably watched more than 150 Devils games over the last 2 years.
Yep.
He's our resident Devils fan.
Absolutely. Listen,
there are dozens of us, I tell you.
Dozens, yeah.
We know 2 of them.
Yeah, but no, I agree with you. I mean, it absolutely had to do with the coach at the time, and since then, I mean, he has improved. But this guy is not yet ready to be a top 2 defenseman.
I said it earlier. I was in my truck on the way home. I pulled up Twitter at a stoplight. I said Devils trade Adam Larson. I was like, all right, that's upsetting. For who? Because, I mean, I had heard the rumblings about Adam Larson for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. It's some sort of a trade, either Adam Larson or Damon Severson was going to Edmonton for Nugent-Hopkins.
Yeah, and I didn't believe that in that one because, as I said, and I'm sure you can agree with me on this, the Devils need scoring depth on the wings. They're all right at center. So bringing in Nugent-Hopkins didn't make any sense. That didn't make any sense to me.
It didn't make any sense, I mean, unless they were planning on pushing Henrique to wing, which I think is just a waste of his defensive ability.
Yeah, I mean, they did it before, but that's not his strength.
I agree.
Yeah.
And then when I saw Taylor Hall, I was like, I mean, sweet. I mean, Taylor Hall, you're talking about a top five winger in the NHL, probably the third best left wing in the league.
I would go along with that. Definitely, I agree with you. Definitely top 5. There's no argument there. Definitely in the top 5.
And then later on, I checked it again. It was just straight up, and it took me a little bit to digest that, just because I'm a big fan of that.
Plus, you didn't want to crash the truck.
That's true.
Yes.
I was a big fan of how he turned his game around, and especially playing with Green. I mean, Andy Green's a very underrated defenseman.
Yes, he is.
It's a fucking crime that he wasn't even invited to the USA development camp for the Olympics or the World Cup. But
they'll regret that. Don't worry, they'll regret that decision.
So while I was upset, I mean, it eventually hit me. I was like, Jesus, like, all right. I mean, the Metropolitan Division is a superstar-driven division. And
he is going
to have one, and he's a superstar.
He is going to thrive there. I mean, first of all, Hall, he was quite upset to be traded. He took that personally. He really did.
Can you imagine being there for 6 years in the dumps? You've had 4 first overall picks. You were one of them. The team was better last year until McDavid got hurt.
Yep.
And they still don't. I mean, they seem to have fixed their goaltending problems with Talbot. I mean, he's not going to be an elite goalie, but I mean, he's definitely a good enough goalie with some defensive help to put that team in the playoffs. I think
he's better than what they had. There's no question.
He's better than that tandem of Scrivens and whoever the other one was.
Goalie of the week. Yeah.
Yeah, Scrivens had one good game, 49 saves shutout against the Sharks, and I never heard from him again.
They haven't been good since Nikolai Halby-Bulin left.
we laugh, but you know what? There was some truth to that. But the thing is, Ray Shero just fleeced Peter Chiarelli. And if you're an Oilers fan right now, you're probably sitting there going, "Wait a minute! I thought this guy was supposed to be smart. Maybe his critics in Boston, or maybe they kind of knew what they were talking about, because." That's another dumb trade. I mean, come on.
Well, you're talking about you traded Tyler Seguin for Rich Peverley and Louis Eriksson.
Exactly. And right now, I mean, I've seen the tweets today. I mean, some Oilers fans actually compared it to that, and I was just like, you know what? That assessment.
This is a way worse.
Yeah, it's like that assessment is not wrong. With Seguin, okay, there was kind of some issues there, and they were very deep at the time in Boston where they were at center. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he wasn't meant to be a winger. He had to be a center, and there was just no room from there. The return, Louis Eriksson wasn't bad. I mean, ultimately, when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, I mean, Dallas definitely got the better of the deal, but they didn't get chopped liver back either. It wasn't that bad. But you're right. This is far worse, and this isn't to be a beat up Adam Larson thing here. As I said, he's a good defenseman. Maybe he will become a top pairing defenseman down the road, but right now he's not that yet. I just don't think he's ready for that yet.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me to see him put up 30 points, 40 points at some point over the life of the contract that he's on in Edmonton.
Yeah, but again, you don't give up Taylor Hall for this guy.
No,
you know,
absolutely
you don't make that trade. And go ahead, Mark. Sorry, I've been.
I'd like to do a little exercise. I think we're skirting around. We're skirting around. I think what you guys want to talk about, and what I want to hear from you. First, I guess we'll start with the trade that we're talking about right now. So, Danny and Lyle, what coming from the Devils would even this trade out for you? I mean, we've been saying that both of these trades are lopsided for various reasons. So, what would make this trade even in your mind?
To me, this is a trade that shouldn't have happened. If you had proposed, I said on Twitter on Twitter today when this deal first went down, I said if somebody had proposed that deal yesterday or earlier this morning, they would have been laughed off of Twitter, you know, because this wasn't a fit. You know, this was not something that was going to suitably address the Oilers' needs. The Oilers were supposed to get a top 2 defenseman, right-handed shot, established top 2 defenseman. That's why they were in on Shattenkirk, okay? That's why there was talk that they might have been looking at Fowler, though Fowler's a left-handed shot, and that wouldn't have worked for them. But regardless, those 2 guys, proven, established, top 2 defensemen. Okay, so if you had suggested Taylor Hall for Adam Larson, I would have said, "Get the fuck out of here! Come on, there's no way that's going to happen. You're nuts. That's not."
I did. You told me that this weekend.
But it's a very good point.
No, that was when you wanted to bogart my beer, and I told you, "Get the fuck out of here."
That was something else. Sorry.
Yeah, you were going to try and take that last burger cookie from me. And that's what that was. Yeah, it was you trying to take the last burger cookie away from me. That's what that was.
I still had 2 left when I left.
Those, again, quick aside, those are fantastic. They are the cookie that eats like a meal. They are fantastic. Thank you, by the way, guys, again, for introducing me, giving me just a little taste of Maryland culture. I love it. But, anyway, Daniel, what's your thought on that?
So I over the last, 2 hours or so, 1 hour and a half, however long we've been doing this show, I've kind of formulated an idea in my head, and all I have is pure speculation at this point. So I think this kind of goes back. So it's been suggested for since the draft that Damon Severson was involved in a deal with Edmonton. So here's how I kind of think this all went down. It has to do with Columbus taking Luc Dubois with the 3rd overall pick at the draft, and that falling Puljujarvi down to Edmonton at 4.
Yes,
probably an NHL ready right winger.
I think so. If he can be healthy, yes.
In doing so, instead of giving Edmonton a surplus at center, it gave them a surplus at forward because Edmonton was originally going to have their choice of Luc Dubois or one of the 3 defensemen.
Yeah. Or they could have gone for Tkachuk. Matthew Tkachuk was the guy I was expecting. Yeah.
I kind of thought that they were going to take Chychrun. I can't pronounce his last name. Chychrun.
Yeah, that's fine. I have trouble with them too. Don't worry about it.
So it all of a sudden it went from Nugent Hopkins being the more expendable player to, all right, well, we have to move. We don't have to move a winger, but it made Taylor Hall expendable because obviously they see McDavid obviously and then Draisaitl as their top 2 centers down the middle for the foreseeable future, and they still have Benoit Pouliot, right?
And Pat Maroon as well.
So it probably went something along the lines of they were talking Severson for Nugent Hopkins. And Chiarelli probably said, well, I want Larson. And I imagine it probably went something along the lines of, well, then I want Hall.
Yeah.
You know?
It probably
was an escalation of something like that. Yes, I would have, if you had told me that a package around Adam Larson could be made for Taylor Hall, I would have believed you. I would have imagined that the rest of that package would have involved either a 2nd and a 4th or an extra 1st involved with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But from my perspective, I wouldn't have wanted to see the Devils give up anything more than that.
Like I said, the Devils win this big time.
Made out like a bandit.
Big time. And yeah. And like I said, I mean, right now you've got a GM there, in Edmonton that people are starting to second guess now. This better work out. Because if it doesn't, people are going to look back on this day as this was the day where Peter Chiarelli morphed into Craig McTavish.
Yep.
But they can still sign Lucic. They have a pass.
True.
That's the thing. If they sign Lucic, sure. I mean, and that's the reason I think why this went down. This happened.
6 years.
They are going to sign Lucic. they are signing Lucic, 6 years, 36 mil. He's gonna get it.
Insane.
I know it's insane, and look who he's signing with. Okay,
I know, it's Chiarelli.
Look who's gonna sign him. Chiarelli loves this guy. Chiarelli wouldn't want to give him up. You know. No, he's gonna get his money, and like I said, I think that this just confirms the speculation we heard last night. The reports, unconfirmed reports,
that he had already
that a deal's already in place. I think the cat got let out of the bag here. Now, of course, Lucic said, "Well, no, that's bullshit." What do you expect him to say? "Oh yeah, sure, we'll announce it on Friday." Of course, he's going to say it's bullshit. This is happening. I think this is happening. Lucic is going to be replacing Taylor Hall, but it's still beside the point because look what you gave this guy up for. And Taylor Hall is, I think, the better left winger of the two.
Yeah.
Oh, by far. That's not even close.
Yeah,
Lucic
I mean,
is 32. Taylor Hall's 24.
Yeah, well, Lucic isn't 32. Lucic is 28, 27, 28.
Lucic?
Yeah,
he's
Milan Lucic.
2003 draft.
Yeah, but he's not 32.
He's 28.
He's 28. Yep, he's 28. But still,
the contract still takes him until he's 34.
Well, yeah, it'll take him. It's a long time to sign him, But the point is that you made this move, and they say, and TSN was saying, well, I think this move was done to change the culture. They also said the same thing about the Subban trade. This was done to change the culture of the trade of the dressing room, change the culture of the team. Taylor Hall, blah blah blah. But again,
shots.
Yeah, but I mean, what do you? How is this going to make it better? I mean, okay, sure, Lucic, oh yeah, he's bigger, stronger, tougher, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, still he's decent scoring. And hey, maybe he will mesh well with Connor McDavid. Who can say? Maybe he will. But you're going to be paying a fortune to get this guy, and at the end of the day, it still comes down to, is Adam Larsson going to be the answer on your blue line? And if he's not, why did you make this feckin' trade at all? Why bother?
Yeah, Larson's not going to turn that blue line around overnight, but he immediately becomes their best defenseman for sure.
Oh, I agree. I mean, Andre Sekera is a good veteran guy, but he's not that top guy. Darnell Nurse, he's got a couple of years. He'll be there. Oscar Klefbom, I think, right now, good second pairing defenseman right now, has top pairing potential, but they're not there yet. They're still not there yet. So
yeah, and the nice thing about Larsson is that he's steady in the defensive end, which is something Edmonton sorely needs. When you look at Klefbom I don't know much about Sekera, but I know Klefbom's a pretty offensive guy. He's got the big shot.
Yeah,
but. So is the culture change that both of these trades are talking about? Is the culture change is that no one's safe, or that they shipped out people that were not good for the team?
It's the latter. I think it's for the case of Montreal, I think it's Bergevin and Therrien going, this guy's not good for the team. Okay, he's they in their mind he's not good for the team. Okay. With Chiarelli, I don't think
one of the big four had to go.
Yes, one of them had to go.
This is the first one drafted out of that group.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. And they're going to be moving out Nail Yakupov. By the way, he's going to be gone at some point here this summer, and they're only going to get like maybe a third round pick for him. How the mighty have fallen.
Law of diminishing returns. It's
I would be okay with him coming to the Caps.
They just want to lie. They just want to get rid of him. So
I think Yakupov would be a great fit on the Caps.
Oh, I think if he goes to a deeper club where there's less expectation on him, and he can it would kind of be like a Phil Kessel thing. You know what I mean? Where he doesn't have to be the guy, or one of the guys. He can go into it. He can be on a second pairing role or third line role with a couple of talented guys. Hey, maybe go to Washington, skate alongside with Lars Eller. Okay.
Put him on a line with Justin Williams, Lars Eller.
There you go. Like, that could work.
And then if he plays well, you could bump him up with Kuznetsov.
Exactly. So you got options. I mean, that could work. But the thing is, he won't feel all that pressure because, on a team with stars, he can just go and play his game, and nobody's going to mess with him, and he can just go and do his thing.
And you can't underestimate the countryman factor too. I mean, you're going to a team with two guys, two solid players who happen to be Russian. They can help him acclimate and stuff like that. And maybe that's what he never got in Edmonton.
Very possible. And, he gets out of Edmonton. I mean, that's really, let's be honest, the way it looks right now, it's Edmonton. Everyone's on to Peter Chiarelli. Everyone's on to him. And we could say things about, the old boys club, the boys on the bus, they're gone now.
Yeah.
This move reeks of boys on the bus.
Boys on the bus.
And what's going to be funny is that Chiarelli's going to hold on to Yakupov waiting for a better return after he just gave away Taylor Hall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, now he's feeling the pressure. Now he's going to feel the pressure. I don't think he quite expected. I think he expected a bit of a backlash, but I don't think he expected what he's got right now.
And I would do Yakupov for a third in a heartbeat.
Oh, well, right now at this point, yeah. I mean, what more can he get? I mean, I'm sorry.
I mean, if I was the receiving team, I mean, if you say I'll give you Yakupov for a third-round pick, if I'm Ray Shero or for example, I mean, I would do that in a heartbeat.
I would send the trade call in, or I would make the trade call before the L and absolutely came out of my mouth. Like, I would put it on conference.
Yeah.
Oh, Peter Chiarelli, you make us laugh so much, and you make Lyle forget his pain.
Well, it helps ease it a little bit. It helps ease it a little.
And look at the guy Boston hired to replace him.
Oh my Lord,
Sweeney,
Donnie franchise.
Can I just say, you guys must have heard the report that came out in the last 24 hours that they apparently a source claiming that they're thinking of trying to offer sheet Jacob Trouba for $9.3 million per season in order to make it an unmatchable offer sheet, so that they could get the guy.
4 first-round picks, though.
Exactly, and I read that and I said that would be the height of stupidity.
Are we sure that Ray Bork was the former Bruins defenseman that got caught really, really drunk?
Yeah, what
Don Sweeney's making a case.
Well, I'm starting to wonder if there wasn't something in the water in Buffalo that the general managers were drinking, because
no, there was something definitely in the water in Buffalo.
Yeah, that tap water wasn't too tasty. But anyway, not in the middle of the night and you don't have any bottled water. But nice people in Buffalo.
Great people.
I cannot stress that enough. Nice people in Buffalo.
Great people.
Seriously. But
towns in shambles, great people.
Yes, remember what I said, the town motto, Buffalo, to be continued.
Exactly.
When I heard that, I read that today, I was just like, oh, come on, man. I mean, that would be the height of stupid. If you actually make that move, Jacob Trouba is a promising young defenseman, but he is not worth $9.3 million a season for 7 years. He's just not. And if you do that and that kid doesn't pan out, not only have you saddled yourself with a huge contract you cannot move, or, well, okay, you'll have a lot of difficulty trying to move. So you're going to be stuck with this guy, $9.3 million a season, eating up your cap space. But you have just given Winnipeg 4 of your first-round draft picks for the next 4 years. And since you're probably going to suck if Trouba doesn't play as well as you hope, Winnipeg's going to be sitting there, another top 10 pick. Thank you. Oh, another top 10 pick. Thank you. Oh, look, another top 10 pick.
Awesome.
Thank you. Which they could either keep for themselves, because Winnipeg I don't think is going to be in a top 10 pick position.
Not in the division they're in.
So they can either use that pick themselves, or they could use one of those picks as trade bait to bring themselves in somebody that can help their roster right away. So
somebody
it's going to help.
Jacob Trouba.
I see this as not so much a bad decision on Boston's part, but I see this as genius marketing on Jacob Trouba's part. I bet he sent those tweets out saying, you know what, it would be great if somebody signed me to a $9.3 million offer. I could use a raise.
But I'll tell you, if that deal happens, that trumps the moves made by Chiarelli and by Bergevin as the stupidest trades made this year. That trumps, or the stupidest moves. That would trump
he's
them.
got to do a lot to trump his draft class last year.
I know. And that would do it. Definitely.
I did see one tweet this afternoon that basically said, I kind of paraphrasing at this point, it said, if you send an offer sheet to one of our players, we will send an offer sheet to your players for the next 10 years.
10 years. Your best, each year, your best restricted free agent, I'm going to offer sheet. It's just
that was like Tim Murray or something.
Why did that have the reek of Brian Burke?
I was gonna say that.
And why is Brian Burke looking more and more like Ric Flair every day?
It's really true. It is really true.
He is, isn't he? My God.
Really,
That
was
night-
much on the draft floor.
Next year he shows up in a robe, and we know it's just.
Oh
Ric
man!
Flair.
Well, how happy was he that Matt Kachuk fell into their lap? How happy was he?
How happy is he got Alex Chase on?
Frig, for nothing, for peanuts. For peanuts.
For Pat's sell-off.
Hey, if that doesn't work, who cares? It didn't cost you anything. And if it does, you look like a flipping genius again. Oh, yeah, very briefly, my pal here, Dirk Hogue, says, I'm secretly hoping that Weber winning the Messier Leadership Award helped convince Montreal to make this trade. That would be hilarious.
There you go.
And I agree. The Marc Messier Award, given to by Marc Messier for the most Marc Messier's player who ever Messier'd.
Exactly.
I got another one that just came out for Brian Rashog. It said, the ask from Montreal for Subban was astronomical to Edmonton. Draisaitl, the 4th overall, and Clefbaum.
Oh, man. I would do that trade now. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh.
No, I'll tell you how it's fine, Lyle. No. Lyle, think of the hospitals he gave to. Think of the hospitals he gave
You're not helping!
The irony right now of the menage a trois that's going on between Montreal, Edmonton, and whoever else the fuck is in this group at this point.
Lyle
It's
feels so
hilarious.
betrayed. So betrayed by his trade that he's killing all the children's hospitals, all the children in all the children's hospitals, and he just became Darth Vader.
Yes, I am now.
Subban's going to go build a children's hospital in Nashville.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, they are going to so love him in Nashville. Like I said, I know that I said that if they traded PK Subban, I would quit being a Habs fan. I lied. You can't quit your team. We all know that. No matter how much they break your feckin' heart, you can't. Oh, I'll do it. I'll do it the day you guys quit being Capitals fans.
That's fine. You become a Capitals fan, and we'll become Montreal Canadiens fans.
No.
I like that trade. No, I like that trade a lot.
This isn't going to be a circle jerk of misery. No, thank you. No. Everybody's got to give up their team for different teams.
Hold on. That's my rock album.
Circle jerk of misery.
Scotty, write it down.
That's going on. Oh yeah, that's going on.
That's definitely my rock album in the middle of my career. Circle jerk of misery.
Okay, I just want you to know that was patent pending.
Well, I'm gonna mail this to myself, so I trademarked it. So that's the first album by Johnny P's new band, the Tommy Satterstrom Bubble.
Yes, the Tommy Satterstrom Bubble.
Oh, by the way, can I say tough loss for Team USA on the weekend? By the way, I had that game on in the background while I was working, and I was just like, what the hell? Oh, okay. Oh, shit.
We went out with.
Sean Leahy was so mad at the outcome of that game that he hated Mark even less. So that's good for Mark.
I can tell that Mark's very concerned about that.
Italy totally redeemed themselves on Monday, while I was also still home from work. I got to see that. So.
Perfecto.
We still haven't talked about Stamkos yet.
Yeah, we need to do that. Well,
we need to save stuff for next week's show.
Thanks, Dan. No, there'll be plenty to talk about next week's show. There's other stuff out there. Let's get Stamkos out of the way right now.
$8.5 million over 8 years for Steven Stamkos.
Exactly what Stevie Eisman said he was going to get.
Exactly. You know what? If there's one thing he knows, it's not only contracts of his franchise player, but it's also how to steal waitresses from us in 2011. So
yeah. But,
cheers to you, Steve Stamkos.
Yeah, you waitress stealing bastard. But you know something? Just think, 6 months ago, Eisenman was getting raked over the coals. I mean, it was just like, he's mishandling the Drouin thing. Oh, he's mishandling the Stamkos thing. They're going to lose Stamkos, and he's going to trade away Drouin, and it's going to be a disaster, and blah, blah, blah. And at the end of the day, he has them both.
Which, hey, man, good on him for crowd control. Now, I guess the real big question out of Tampa, what do you do with Ben Bishop?
He's going to be traded. Whether that happens this year or this summer or by the trade deadline, or maybe they hang on to him for one more run at the Cup and then they shop his rights.
Well, actually, they don't have to.
They don't have to now. No.
Draft.
Yeah, it's going to be tight though because they still got to resign. Cause they've only got something like I think around 10.
They got 9.3.
9.3 mil in cap space, according to General Manager. That's all they got. So they could try and move Matt Carl. I don't know how the hell you're going to do that to free up some cap space.
Well,
I suppose
who their RFAs that they had to resign? They got to sign Kucherov.
They got to resign Kucherov, Killorn.
Palat.
Kucherov and Killorn are the two big ones.
Nemesnikov.
Nemesnikov and
Nesterov.
Nesterov. Those two guys, yeah, the bottom two guys, yeah, they can. The lesser of the
names up at this.
The lesser of the Robs, Nikita can wait. Kucherov. But yeah, no, Killorn and Kucherov. There goes your 9 mil. That's gone.
Yeah.
That's gone.
Between the two of them, they should be making around 4.5 each.
Oh God, more. Kucherov will get more. Kucherov will get more. Killorn, yeah, I could see 4.5 mil a season for him. I could see that. Kucherov, I think you're looking at closer to 6. I think you're looking at closer to 6.
It'll depend on the term. If they're going to sign him or go to arbitration.
He's not eligible for arbitration.
He's not. Oh, okay.
Killorn is. Kucherov isn't. He's coming off entry-level contract.
That shows what I know.
No. Hey, listen. You knew more about the cap recapture stuff than I did on regarding Weber. So don't beat yourself up, my friend.
You're both dumb in your own ways, Lo.
Yes, we are. Hey, Dan. Hey, Dan. We're both dumb in our own way. We'll get that on T-shirts.
I'll add that to our next T-shirt.
Yeah, we're dumb in our own way. But yeah. But I mean, the Stamkos. I mean, listen. It is a hometown discount for a superstar. It is. I mean, the Wings and the Sabres, they were willing to do 10, 11 mil a season. They were willing to go that high.
So I heard that in order for Toronto to be able to match the tax with taxes, they would have had to pay Stamkos over $12.5 million a year to match 8 million tax free. Well,
but the offsetting thing would have been the endorsements. All the money would have made from endorsements. He would have made a lot more in endorsements in Toronto. But the thing is, and right now, can I just say that also helps ease a bit of my pain too, because there are a lot of Leaf fans who wanted Stamkos coming to Toronto. Yeah, and for those people, 90 boo boo, screw you. Okay, but and I think it's, as I said earlier in the show, I think it's better for Toronto. I think it's better for them. Stick with rebuilding with the kids. Don't blow your feckin' brains out chasing after expensive free agents. Your predecessors went down that road and it didn't work. Stick with waterfall. Yeah, stick to the rivers and the lakes that you used to. I know you're going to have it your way or not at all, but I think you're moving too fast.
Lyle Left Eye Lopez over there. Holy
yes,
shit.
Indeed, my friends. Hey, I can kick it old school because I'm an old fool. There you go.
Well,
the Mold of Gold that really sold a bullion biggie from the Golden Groove Yard. Anywho.
But now they're stuck with a team of scrubs, and they didn't want any scrubs.
Look at Mark. Yes, sir. I like. Well played, mister. But yeah,
they might creep up the standings.
Yeah, but it's definitely. But this signing though, it's definitely gonna make it difficult. As I said, difficult to re-sign Kucherov and Killorn, and it's gonna make things difficult next year because Bishop is definitely gonna have to go. But still, Johnson and Palat, $6 million a season each, gonna have to be. Hedman got to be at least 7.5, maybe 8. Big time. He's one of the best defensemen in the league.
Hedman's contract is going to be massive.
Yes, big time. And they got no choice. So who do you lose from there, right? Somebody got to go. And it's going to be more than Bishop, too. So this is going to have some cap consequences going forward.
Can we all agree at this point that the salary cap is the best thing for us?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We wouldn't have anything to talk about without the salary cap.
Well, no. Well, it would be very boring too. I mean, because it'd be just the same half dozen teams.
Well, you'd be going back to the early 2000s when you had the Devils, Red Wings, Avalanche, Sabres.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you would have had, and the Rangers signing people and failing miserably. Yeah, it would have, and the Leafs. It's no wonder Leafs fans are so keen that they wanted to get Stamkos. This is a kind of a trip back to the good old days of 15 years ago when they used to be able to. They were the only Canadian team who could bid competitively for top free agent talent. It's just like, sorry, no, you got to have the salary cap to kind of, first of all, you got to, makes general managers smarter. You wouldn't know it by some of the dumb moves they make, but yes, you still have to work within confines of your cap. Okay, the smart ones can do it. Hello, I mean, say you about Stan Bowman. He got 3 cup rings in 6 years. He don't care.
Yep.
Okay, so there's success right there. You know, it's like I said, it does help spread the talent around, and it makes things a little bit more competitive. I mean, would Edmonton even have a fucking prayer of getting Milan Lucic if there wasn't a salary cap?
No, probably not. But odds are where they play is probably one thing that's not gonna.
Yeah, but after the next CBA, when they decide that if you've had the first overall pick for the last 3 years, you can't get it anymore, then
yeah,
they're
you're
gonna be
banished for
screwed.
5 years. You're banished from it for 5 years. But the thing is, too, well, Edmonton actually, it's an interesting situation with them because, as Bob McKenzie was saying the other day, they're actually becoming a team of interest for a number of free agent players. 2 reasons.
Well, playing with Connor McDavid would do that.
That's the big one. That's the first one. Their new arena, state of the art. I guess that they had Lucic and Jason Demers up and gave them a tour there yesterday, and I guess they were just amazed. They were just blown away by just how fantastic this new arena of theirs is going to be. And Bob Nicholson, who is running the show as he was the CEO. He's well respected, former Hockey Canada president. He's very well respected in hockey circles. So, you know, they've got all that going for them. I mean, obviously McDavid's the big draw. So, you know, I mean, this could be a bit of a start of a turnaround. If they can start winning, hey, you know, that will also help be a draw. But for now, yeah, having McDavid in that fancy new arena and Nicholson there, yeah, it's making them a little bit more attractive compared to what they would have been, say, 2 years ago.
I'm telling you, it's a fun time. It's a fun time. It was a fun time. We didn't even talk about Fedor-Tuden. And I mean,
Seth Jones, good signing there by the Blue Jackets. Yep, like that.
Change of pace for Carolina.
Yeah, but it is. Buying out Fedor-Tuden, I mean that will give them some cap room, gives them some wiggle space.
Who do you think's next to go on their awful contracts? Hartnell.
Oh yeah, they'll find a place for Hartnell. They will find a place for him.
He's what, 40 points a year, about as what
50. 50. Yeah, still flips around 50.
They'll find a place for him.
He's got 3 more years left on his contract. You can make that work. You know, you can make that work. So
the Foligno contract is bad.
Yeah, and that's one reason why I don't think they'll move it. And then the fact too that is I do think that they want to kind of see how he'll do as a bounce back this year. You know, I really didn't get the vibe from them that they were really that keen to move him. But Hartnell, yeah, they've been trying to move him since January. So he's the next to go. I wouldn't be surprised to see him move in the next week.
So much to do, so much to say, and then Friday it starts. Friday.
There's an echo in here.
Friday's always the day that you give people bad news.
Oh yeah,
like you're going to Edmonton.
Oh man, but this was definitely today was a day where it was literally 1 hour that just changed so much in the NHL. You know.
Well, I was in a meeting. And I came back out, and I'm just like flipping through Twitter, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. There was a trade, 1-for-1, huh? God. Keep going. What? PK Subban got? What the fuck happened in the last 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Where the hell was I? How long was that meeting?
Well, I was just putting the finishing touches on my take on the Taylor Hall deal for my site when I first saw that come on my Twitter feed there from Kyprios, and I was just like, oh God, no, and just oof. And then right after that, 10 minutes after that, Bob McKenzie comes back and says, yep, Stamkos not going anywhere, he's staying. And
like I said, I was just taking stuff down from surgery and putting in sterilization, and the next thing you know, this happens.
It's just I
did like Greg's Twitter feed. He was fantastic because he was like, hold on, sorry, we got something coming up right now. We're stalling for a second. We're going to start the show. I swear we'll start the show. We will start the show in the next 15 minutes. God damn it. Okay, we're going to start the show in the next 20 minutes.
Oh, man. That was like Sean McKendo, Down Goes Brown, to people who don't know. He was saying the same thing that Jen was saying about, imagine all the people who are having to all the Stamkos analysis, free agent analysis that will never be written, and it's just like, I'm among them looking at a rewrite tonight.
My favorite comment from him today was that Oilers fans must have gotten Adam Larson confused with Oliver Ekman-Larsson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, yes, Oliver Ekman-Larsson for Taylor Hall, yes, and wait a minute, Ekman-Larsson doesn't play for New Jersey. Wait, what? No. And scene. That was my one man play. Oilers fan mistaking Ekman-Larsson for Lars.
Good
If I had roses, I'd throw them.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't. You'd throw your shoe. You throw your shoe.
Who throws a shoe, really?
Who throws a shoe? Face-off hockey shoes. That's what he'd be throwing.
There it is.
The guy would happily catch. Face-off hockey shoes, ladies and gentlemen. Catch him.
Catch the fever.
Catch the fever. Face-off hockey shoes.
All right. Well, face-off hockey scotch was another thing.
Ooh, I love that. I love that best of all our products. I love those most of all.
I like our T-shirts that we don't make.
I have a list of T-shirts right now. I don't even remember the one from Saturday. I have to go back and listen to the show now for Saturdays.
Yeah. There's a couple. All right. Well, I
Is
guess.
yeah.
I guess this is.
Oh, we've had a lot to talk about today. Good
We actually
Lord.
talked almost 100% hockey tonight.
We didn't even have any sorry.
That will change next week as we do an hour and a half of Name That Mascot. As we will touch the Division III college football ranks.
Yeah, because we'll only need, 10-15 minutes to do brief analysis of all the free agent signings?
Yeah, no problem.
Yes,
Yeah,
Milan
we'll
Lucic
whip through
got
those.
signed in Edmonton.
Whip
Yes.
through those. Yes. You are correct, sir.
You could probably do an hour and a half on the ramifications of Stamkos signing for 7 years, $12 million in Toronto.
There you go. That we'll do this summer. What if?
That'll be
Every week we should go through the Lyle articles that didn't get deleted because of the shit that occurred.
Yeah.
Like we should just be like, this would have happened if Stamkos wouldn't have been signed.
Yeah. We should.
Perfect. You know what? That'll be great for a Face-Off Hockey Show flashback if we talk about old bits and old things that never came together. This is coming up on our 15th anniversary, Lyle. So
is it meta if we never do a bit about Lyle's never published articles?
It'd be great if we did not ever do a bit.
Never do a bit on Lyle's never published articles that will never see the light of day.
There we go.
Never.
Too meta.
Never.
All right.
No, you're never going to get it. No, you're never going to get it. Said you're never going to get it. No, you're never going to get it.
We're going to let you go ahead and stalk for the rest of the night.
I got it in my system now. I got to go finish up some work. So, God, I love this time of year. It leaves me so exhausted.
It's great. There you go, buddy.
In a good way. In a good way. Hey.
Enjoy your
Hey,
slideshows.
make that money, Lyle.
Yeah, make that cash. Gotta make that dough.
I'm gonna make that dough. I got a fucking driveway to pay off, man.
They fucking listen. If you had gotten one of Johnny's relatives, you would have done it for half the cost.
It's true.
Yeah, but I don't live in Maryland. That's the problem.
Well, listen, there could have been a couple of bumps in the driveway as well. Don't ask
Nay, don't ask, don't tell. Everybody should have speed bumps in
Hey,
their driveway.
My cousins are Italian. So
They are. They really are. Yeah. Shockingly enough, they are.
I'm shocked. I tell
I
you.
know. We all are.
I had no idea.
Perfect.
I thought they cheered for Italy in footy just because they liked the shirts. I had no.
They were all confused why the flag is one color and the sporting jerseys are another.
They're also kind of Slovakian too.
Anyway. Good meeting you, Dan. By the way.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Yep.
And everybody else.
All right.
Except for Mark, I'll see your cheerful face tomorrow morning, 7 a.m.
Wait till I've had coffee.
There you go.
Okay, guys. Well, I'll talk to you next Wednesday when we'll go through all the damage again.
You wrap up for the summer.
Yep. Have a good week, guys.
See you, Lyle.
See you, Lyle.
Lyle Richardson, SpectreHockey.net. BleacherReport.com, PII, the guy on the Guardian, and also the Hockey News. So, shout-outs, Johnny Pete.
I'm going to give a shout-out to the Orioles.
The
Orioles have tied the record for most home runs hit in the month of June.
With 55.
They have one more game to add to that. So
The record for most home runs in a month are the Orioles from 87 and the Mariners from 99 at 58.
hey, why not?
There you go.
It's really happening.
What else? What else? I have a shout out for leftover beer from the draft.
Pew pew pew.
I will say that there's a lot to be said about buying too much beer for something and bringing the rest of it home.
Yes.
I have a shout out for having more beer in my refrigerator than food.
There it is. Wow. Okay, that's.
Remember, John, beer has food value, but food does not have beer value.
True story.
Unless you get it like beer battered on your rings.
Stop throwing rings into this mess. And I have a shout out to the Baltimore Blast, because why not?
Sure. There you go.
Baltimore
Lovely.
Blast represent.
Lovely jersey you got on there. Perfect. Sweet. Mark with a C.
Let's see. Give a shout out to traveling. I'm traveling again this weekend. Going to Detroit. Driving to Detroit again. So we're going to be doing that.
Buffalo. On its way to being Detroit.
To be continued.
Yes.
Let's see. Shout out to everyone who helped me celebrate my birthday over the weekend. So thank you for that. That's about all I got, I think. So
there you go. Dan, you got some shout outs to give out?
Nope. Shout out to Taylor Hall. I hope you have a hat trick your first game against the Capitals.
Well, thanks for Dan coming on for his first.
This will be the last time Daniel's ever on the show.
Perfect.
Oh, well, he can have 4 hat tricks for every game he plays against the Rangers next year. How about
There
that?
you go. I like that.
And totally redeems himself.
We'll have him on by Monday.
And shout out to my fiance for leaving me alone for an hour and a half.
There you go. Perfect. That's great, I think. I don't know. Interesting. All right. Well, we appreciate you, Dan, and we're glad. Shout out to Dan for coming on. It's good times. Shout out to coming home from Buffalo in one piece, and shout out to Jen, who's hopefully not poisoning my supper.
Well, you gave her an extra 10 minutes to make sure those potatoes are cooked. So.
Oh yeah, exactly. And then she's just gonna throw a potato at me as I come out of the studio room. So
aim for the groin, Jen.
Right into the groin. She doesn't listen to the show. It's fine.
Well, it doesn't matter. She's on a 5-second delay anyway, so you will have time.
Exactly, so she can reel it up and just punch me in the groin instead. In any case, that's it. That's all. For Johnny P. Mark with a C, Dan, and me, Scotty Ross. Take care of yourself. Someone else has been Face Off Hockey on faceoffhockeyshow.com. It's also our Tumblr, Twitter, Face Off HTKY Show, Facebook, FOHS Radio. That's it. That's all. Until we speak to you next week. Peace.